Ayo, yeah, that's B-Eazy, that's the name. Way before the world knew he was running the game. Laid the groundwork, built the foundation strong. Been influencing the whole scene all along. Now everybody gotta give that man his praise. A living legend for the rest of his days. Oh, he deserves all the accolades, yeah. B-Eazy, B-Eazy, gotta give that man his praise. A living legend for the rest of his days. Oh, he deserves all the accolades. B-Eazy, B-Eazy. Be-Eazy. He got that certain kind of profile, smooth and effortless style. He's so fresh, makes the whole room stop and stare a while. Hear him asking, who's that? Mama, there he goes again. The way he moves, you know he's gonna win. Oh, you ain't know? That's just B-Eazy. B-Eazy Dat Dude. That man right there. Be-Eazy.
Young Leaper.
I got a bad bitch with me. I got the bad niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches hit me. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that semi. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that semi. I got a bad bitch with me. I got the bad niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches hit me. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that semi. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that semi. All legit, no counterfeit. Don't believe me, go ask your bitch. I'ma treat the hoe like a Huffy bike and had her leaning like activists. 2 or 3, some savages. Niggas know who young lavish is. I'ma do it like Nike. That's why you niggas can't stand the kid. 2 or 3 be the click, bitch. JTS is my other brother. I ain't get the shit from the block, boy. I don't fuck around with you other suckers. Life came like a lightsaber. My autograph and her vibrator. I'm shaking shit. I shake the bitch. I hate the bitch like an hour later, huh? I shake the bitch, I hate the bitch like an hour later, huh? I shake the bitch, I hate the bitch like an hour later. I got a bad bitch with me. I got the bad niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches hit me. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that semi. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that semi. I got a bad bitch with me. I got the bad niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches hit me. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that semi. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that semi.
I might pull up on your block, whipping and hit me, gripping and send me. I'm on one cause I've been sipping some Remy. These bitches wanna chew because that pimpin' is in me. It ain't on me and I ain't never been no phony. If I can't get no money with you, then we can't be homies. Ran a few racks up, had to get it by my lonely. I didn't hit it before, now shorty wanna give me some more like Buster. Damn, that ass shake like jam, that's why I call her Smucker. She just call me daddy every single time I fuck her. Get up in that box and hit it hard, it might rupture. Now she soaking wet and then she wanted me to ass fuck her. After I eat that pussy up just like the Last Supper. I shown so much love, now I don't feel the hate. Yo nigga rap cool, but he's still a fake. I came about the mud and start dealing weight. Now I'm investing in stocks and real estate. My bitch gon' ride for me even if the wheels are break. I be killing shit, I'm from the wilderness like a wildebeest. If it's a play to make it, I'ma be smashing up quickly. You hit my line, then I decline when I'm bagging up 50s. Easy.
Turn your radios up. Turn your radios up. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know who this is. B-Eazy Dat Dude. A double header stream back with a another one. This one will be a banger. Will ruffle some feathers, so it will be a doozy. I don't like to keep y'all waiting. So before we get this thing started, you know, you know, gotta hit ya.
If you know the song, sing along. Yeah, you're right.
私も地元民と言っても実はさすがいです。もう友達できたの？うん。ぶっとこっち見ろ。
Look, this promethazine got me leaning like a cholo in the club. I'm 20 deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad bitches, they vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks are showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, move it for me slow-mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting moto. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no ho, no ho. This nigga name ain't D-Lo, but pimpin' these bitches and stacking this bread forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy Dat Dude in the trap making pass smooth. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a jack move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my bitch from Fiji eating tandoori and chicken curry, that ism is really indie. My pimp game international. I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, dawg. I got bigger guns and a whole lot of bad.
And we are activated. So it looks like we may have been joined by some illustrious guests. Trey, where you been, Trey? What it do? I got the illest Israelite stomping and stepping on 2 feet. And bruh, bro, you gonna want to stick around from this because we got the big C in the building. And we've been joined by none other than the exquisite and the enchanting Tory experience. Excellent topic. Salute to the family. Now we gonna get right into this thing. John, if my boy John or Big Rig is in the chat and y'all want to come up, let me know. But don't worry. I got my chef apron on, and this one will be a banger. Speaking of bangers, let's just immediately transition, right? Y'all see what the title is? Y'all seen the thumbnail? Discussion, gang banging goofballs, the raccoons that we don't criticize enough. Now, we're often talking about the raccoons, whether it be the buck broken, brain dead boule, like the Roland Martins, stupid fools, right? Like we criticize the Roland Martins. We criticize the Congressional Black Caucus, who was full of immigrants. And there's nothing wrong with being an immigrant. There is an issue with being an immigrant tethering onto a different lineage, but working to undermine the native population. That's where there's an issue, not because you have an immigrant status, not because you're of a foreign lineage, but if you come from outside of a particular lineage and work to undermine it, you would be a tether. So we have no issues calling out tethers. We have no issues calling out homegrown, native-born Sambos and step-and-fetch-it stooges. But for some reason, when it comes to this particular group of raccoons, some people call them out and some other people are largely silent. And I'm speaking to you as a person, as an individual who has a street background, who's engaged in nefarious activities, who has a proclivity for street life, right? So I'm speaking from experience. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard or not what I speculate. And I'm just going to go and say it. I can't say most or all, but I could say most, but I can't statistically define that. So what I will say is that a significant amount, a problematic amount of these gang banging goofballs that are terrorizing the community, many of you guys gotta go. You need to go, whether you're being locked up or you need to go and get sent to the upper room or to the basement. Now, I'm not advocating for violence. I'm not advocating for the eradicating of any particular people. And when I'm talking about gangs, I'm focused on particularly my group, which is Foundational Black American Freedmen, but this applies to gangs in general, gangs at large. You see how many people, when they say that, oh my God, these people had to cross the border, they were forced by a coyote. Oh, you mean a cartel gang member? Right? So many of these other communities have gangs and cartel and organized crime leaders that are terrorizing their community. And they typically don't have a derogatory or pejorative term for that. They just call them a gang member, a gang banger, a cartel leader. But it's a lot more diabolical and sinister than that. Many of these gang members, they don't have the best interests of the community at heart, right? So if there was a, let's just say, a pack of, just average law abiding citizens, you wouldn't be afraid for your daughter to walk past them on the street. But if there was a group of gang members, would you want your daughter walking by a group of gang members? She walks by normal citizens every day. But are these gang members normal citizens, or are they something different, right? So this is what we're going to get into it. So we'll start off like this. Bada boom, bada bam. So hopefully y'all can read that. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger, but don't trip. This will be story time with B-Eazy. Let me see. Bam. I don't want to make it too bigger, but I think this is enough right here. Let's get into it right now. When we're talking about gangs, I'm not going to single out one particular gang, but I'll just start off with the Crips, right? Now, the original meaning of the Crips name and the early protective purpose, right? Now, gangs haven't always been bad. Gangs haven't always been a detrimental force for the community. They actually were a defensive force for the community, which many championed and praised. But now it's spiraled out into something that's extremely toxic and terrible. Let's start with the Crips. And we got a Crip in the building. Shout out to the Big C, Travion. The Crips began in South Central Los Angeles in the late 60s or early 70s as an alliance between two young men. So it started off as an alliance. It started off as a unifying force. I can respect that. I could tip my hat to that. Raymond Washington and Stanley Tookie Williams, who were both frustrated by the violence and threats from local gangs. So they saw the violence and the threats from local gangs and they say, you know what, this is unacceptable. We need to do something. There was no internet back then, so they couldn't hop on a podcast and say, what about black on black crime? So these people saw crime and they saw that it was an issue and they say, you know what? We're going to create a problem that solves this issue, or at the very least, it mitigates the severity of this issue. How many people that are whining about black on black crime are presenting an issue, solution? You hopping on a podcast, wagging your finger and demonizing and admonishing the black community. That's not producing any results. The only results that it's producing is an AdSense check for you. But then when you go and look, it's like, bro, what have you actually built in the community? You building a YouTube or TikTok platform is not doing anything for the community. It's doing something for your individual pockets. And fine, get your money. I ain't a pocket watcher. I ain't no hater, right? But at the same time, you throwing your community under the bus just to get a few shillings, a few coins, a few crumbs of a buttermilk biscuit. There's nothing manly about that. There's nothing masculine about that. It's rather cowardly and pathetic. Now, according to Williams' account, the group was formed in 1971 after Washington approached him at school. And before I proceed, y'all just let me know if y'all can hear me clearly in the chat. I'm still going to proceed, but earlier I was a little bit low and I had to turn up. So y'all just let me know if y'all can hear me, but I am still going to proceed. So Washington approached him at school, saying they're both being targeted by neighborhood gangs like the Sportsman Park Boys. Williams recalled that the goal was to protect themselves and their friends from gang violence. So it started as pretty much a unity pack. Like, hey, look, man, what's going on in our neighborhood is not okay. So how about we join forces and we help prevent our youth from being attacked? How about we prevent our neighborhoods from being disenfranchised by rogue renegade gangs? So they didn't want to be no longer subjected to the fear of bodily harm. Washington, who was not yet a gang member, wanted to unite with Williams to create a defensive alliance. So they weren't on the offensive. They weren't offensively going and beating people up. They're saying, hey, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Don't start anything with my neighborhood or my community, and it won't be nothing. However, if you do start something, we will defend ourselves by any mean necessary. Now, at the time, the group was called the Cribs. This name was chosen to reflect the young age of most of the gang members, or possibly a slang reference to home or neighborhood, which, people will be like, hey, what you about to do? I'm about to head to the crib. You know what I mean? So I know that that's a reference that we use out here. I don't know what other parts of America use that, but I'm from Pittsburgh. We'll say other stuff is like, hey, I'm finna head to the tilt. Hey, where you at, bro? I'm at the tilt right now. You feel me? That means I'm at home. I'm at the crib. You know what I mean? You feel me? I'm at the Rilt. You feel me? Stuff where you like, well, what does that mean? Well, it just means that I'm at home. Now, different people have different slangs, but ultimately, it's a euphemism for the same thing. Now, the name later evolved into Crips when members began carrying canes to display a pimp status, and locals start calling them Crips for short. So some of these cats, they emulated the pimps, the P-I-E-I-E-I ism, right? They emulated the ism and they said, hey, well, the ism is walking around with a cane. The ism is looking fly, fresh, and debonair. So many of them got canes to symbolize, hey, look, man, we just as fly as the P-I-E-I-E, the PIism, right? But we're just a little bit different. But other people's like, what y'all got that cane for? Are y'all crippled? Man, y'all the Crips, right? So the names have seen variations, right? Now, some alternative origins suggest that Washington's earlier involvement with the Black Panthers from the 1970s Watts gang called the Cripplers. Did y'all know it was a gang called a Crippler? Right? Now, others also have proposed the backronyms like Community Revolution and Progress. That's what the acronym of CRIP originally stood for, or Community Revolutionary Inter-Party Service, right? Now, in their early years, the Crips were not a criminal enterprise, but a community defense network, which we need more of them, right? So, yes, they were a gang, but they were a gang more so in a community defense network sense. They weren't considered a youth gang or a street gang that were terrorizing the community. They actually aimed to reduce violence, to protect the youth and assert control over their territory, saying, hey, look, man, we are going to protect this. If we got to split a wig, we will split the wig in the name of the community. And matter of fact, we want to reduce violence. We don't want to have a bunch of drive-bys. We want to reduce that. So essentially, they stepped up to police their own neighborhood. Now, it evolved into something more sinister, but we're talking about simply the origins of that, right? And for all the people that are against the Crips, right? Where was your organization to rival the Crips, right? If the Crips were terrorizing the community and disenfranchising the community, where was the counter programs to uplift and enfranchise the community? Instead, many people was just said, we're tired of y'all, so we gonna call the cops. The same cops that y'all was whining about white supremacy, now you gonna call those dub supremacists to lock up, the so-called Crips, right? So the community, this organization that was there to protect, okay, fine, you locked up the Crips. Where were the other old heads to step up and say, hey, we got the Crips out of here, but we're going to be like the deacons of defense, right? Look up the deacons of defense. They were there operating in the same fashion as Crips. However, they weren't gang members, right? It was a defense force came together to protect from outside forces and internal forces, internal gang members, Ku Klux Klan. These people came together and created a solution to the problem. They didn't just whine. There was no social media. They didn't write news articles. They didn't hold town hall meetings and say, what about black on black crime? And when they did say, what about black on black crime, they did something about it. You asking, what about black crime and fatherless homes and all this other stuff, but you have no solutions, is a form of cowardice. Why are you mentioning a problem that you have no intent on fixing? You have no solutions for the problem at hand. So just shut up and let the adults take it from here. You're not intellectually formidable. You're not spiritually formidable to even have any solutions. Now, again, the original meaning of Crips was tied to protection and self-defense, a grassroots effort to shield young black residents from gang violence in South Central LA, with Cribs reflecting their youth and neighborhood roots before evolving into the name Crips. Now, really think about this. The Cribs, that means the youth. The youth were signing up to protect their community. Where the heck were the elders and the OGs? You know what? Many of those elders and OGs, they were so enamored with getting some interracial cooch. I'm just saying, you just got to call it what it is. I don't mind that people, hey, date who you date, love who you want to love. It's a beautiful thing. We accept people. You don't have to be a black person loving on a black person for us to accept you. We accept people of all racial, ethnic backgrounds, of various orientations. We have been the most inclusive. We have been the most accepting, right? But there is something to say that these young people, the young youth, were the ones who said, you know what? Enough is enough. Where were the old, like, these gangs, these defense forces should have been started by OGs. They should have been started by so-called elders. So again, if a youth is willing to start a gang to solve a problem, why the heck would they be looking up to the elders? Respect your elders. Why would I respect? And I do believe in respecting elders, but not every old person is an elder. Just because you're older than me doesn't mean you're my elder. And if you are my elder, you should have a lot more knowledge than me. You should have put in a lot more work than me. You should have a lot more solutions than me. But if we have to look to some young people, the youth, to save our community, okay, fine. We'll look to the youth. I don't want to hear what these elders or olders got to say. And like Jason Black always said, you got to watch out for these old niggas. You got to watch out for the ONs. Forget the YNs. And when I say ON, I don't mean the original. I mean old. And there's nothing wrong with being old. Age is a privilege denied to most. But we do have to ask, why was it the youth who said, hey, we're going to take it into our own hands and protect the community? Why? Because many of those old niggas was worried about getting some snow bunny cooch. They was worried about swimming in some spicy Latina cooch, that they didn't even defend their community. And by them defending their community, they were saying white people is bad, white people is racist. And then you were calling those same so-called racist people to clean up your community? Huh? You're an old nigga living in this community. Why you didn't clean it up? You thought you cleaned it up by going and smashing the snow bunny and picking up and dialing 911? There's nothing to respect about that. So then when they try to say, well, these young whippersnappers, they don't respect nothing. No, they respect something. They just don't respect you. And then again, like, what is there to respect? Many of these old niggas, when it was a civil rights movement going on, they didn't support the civil rights movement. All these people that talk about MLK, well, guess what? When MLK was here, y'all didn't support him. And this is what people don't, the uncomfortable truth. Many of your parents and your grandparents, they didn't support the civil rights movement. They were saying, man, y'all niggas need to stop begging, man. Y'all making trouble for us, right? And then after they got the civil rights movement, then they were like, oh my God, thank MLK. What? Thank MLK that he had the fortitudes to do what you didn't do? When MLK, before he was assassinated, he had an 80+% disapproval rating, right? This is according to Gallup polls and all of these polls. Now, of course, these polls are a snapshot in time. I don't look at these polls as just empirical data. However, they are used to gather some level of intelligence, right? The majority of any community, it wasn't the majority of the black community, the majority of Asians, the majority of the white community, they weren't out there stomping with MLK. But then he passes and everyone wants to pretend like I believed in the dream just like MLK. Okay, you believed in the dream, but you didn't fight for it. You were a coward. You didn't do anything when MLK got assassinated. They love to talk about black and brown, and the Rainbow Coalition. Okay, Fred Hampton was 21 years old. He was assassinated in his home next to his loving wife. Where were the black and brown people to stick up for him? Forget the blacks. Where were the brown community to stick up? Fred Hampton was fighting for a rainbow coalition, but when it came time, none of those other colors in the rainbow stood up with him. He was 21 years old. Many of you people are 31, 41, 51, 71. What have you truly built? Fine, you didn't build nothing when you were 41. You're 51. What are you building currently, or what do you plan on building? And if it's nothing, then just shut up and let the big boys take it from here. Let the youth, let the youth reign supreme, because that's what you've always done. Many people, they don't want to fight for anything. They want to reap the benefits. Many people, y'all ain't gonna never get reparations, and then they don't want to fight for anything. They don't want to stand for anything. But if some reparations were to pass, they would be the ones first up in line. The people who enjoyed the benefits of civil rights, guess what? It was a bunch of white people who didn't want civil rights. Civil rights passed, and they were the first ones to say, hey, we're minorities. I thought y'all didn't want civil rights, though. But I'm going to get deeper into this thing. And shout out. Oh, you said that I am low? Hold on. Mic check, mic check. Could y'all hear me now? Actually, hold on. Let me just turn this up right here. I mean, hopefully y'all heard everything that I was saying. Let me just go ahead and crank this thing up. Crank that soldier boy. Watch me yule. Y'all can hear me yule? So before I proceed, hey, I'm getting it done today. I'm trying to be like the hardest working mod on YouTube, but I told y'all I would hit y'all with a double header. Now, Big Rig, could you still hear me? And I'm going to go ahead and drop the link because I may not be here for a long time, but it will be a strong time. Now, somebody in the chat, y'all let me know, because I know Big Rig is saying that I'm low. Could y'all let me know if y'all can hear me? Because I don't want to proceed if I'm too low. You said I'm in the shower. I can hear you, though. Hey, salute to Tori. Tori says she can hear me. Travion said he could hear me. Y'all let me know. Big Rig, you dropped that I was low, so let me know if you can hear me again. And shout out to Christian. I appreciate Christian progress. God bless America. FBA's US. The USA, yes, I'm an America first person. I love my country. I love my countrymen. I love my community, but I am also a humanitarian. So I love people from various walks of life, races, cultures, creeds, and orientation. Okay, thank you so much. All right, I just wanted to proceed. So, in Big Rig, since you said I was low, Tori said that I was better. I want you to know. I want you to let me know if you can hear me more clearly. But let me get into this thing too, right? Now I'm gonna play a little bit of a visual, but I may have to continuously pause it because I'm gonna do a risky thing here because I don't want to get a copyright, but I will make the video transformative. So fair use, fair use. Give me uno momento. Now this is from a legendary movie, and it's called South Central. Now, some people have even said that I look like OG Bobby Johnson. Hey, so let me, and I might have to hit periodically. Do I have my banner over here? Just give me one moment. Fair use, fair use. All right, so let's break this down, right? So these are some young whippersnappers in the hood, and we're going to kind of break this down, right? Now, look at the environment, right? It looks like dilapidated buildings. It looks like trash, graffiti, right? So you know that the property value is down. You know that there's a lot of crime. You know that there's a lot of miscreant activity. So let's get into this. So just to be clear, I'm gonna be going back and forth just like this. And these are the young youth, and this is some foundational Black American culture. Hey, what it be like, cuz? You feel me? Smash that. Hey, what's up, John? John Sin, one of the illest, coldest, dopest with a pen. John, the link is out there. Go ahead and hit that link because I won't be here for a long time, but it will be a strong time. Now let's run that one more again because we gonna kind of break this thing down and we gonna see how it is easy for the youth to get manipulated. Now first look at that haircut. That haircut, it may seem corny now in 2026, but nah, that's a pretty fire haircut. That's a foundational Black American haircut. There's really nothing African about it. Now you can try to frame it, well, they African, so that haircut is African. Okay, show me the African barbers that are cutting their hair like this. And remember, this is in the 90s, so it would have to reflect that time period. If anyone was getting a haircut like this, they were emulating our style. There was no style that we can look to. Yeah, yeah, cut my hair and give me that African style. Huh? Yeah, yeah, cut my hair and give me that Senegalese style. There was no other style but a Black American style. So let's run that back real quick. We're going to break this thing down. Like I said, I will have to periodically pause it and stop it just so I don't get a copyright strike. But then again, if you look at this environment, right? If your kid is growing up in this environment, what type of kid do you think is going to be produced, right? And this is the reason why people don't want their kids growing up in these environments, right? People will talk about meritocracy and pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Okay, fine. If your kid lived over here, they should be able to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and get into Harvard or some other prestigious Ivy League school, right? But no one believes that, which is why people actively avoid these areas that would be considered gang infested or crime ridden because they know that the obstacles are too severe for their, little precious baby girl or baby boy to overcome. So they don't think that their kids would be able to overcome these conditions and obstacles. However, they're telling your kid, don't make excuses. So what if you grew up in a crime-ridden, gang-infested area with dilapidated buildings and poor schools and your parents were uneducated? So what? You should be able to still excel. But their kids wouldn't be able to excel with presented that situation and circumstance. But let's play a little bit of this.
Like termite, we kicking.
And did y'all hear him? Would it be like termite? We got a lot of slick little sayings. Would it be like, cuz? What's the buzz, cuz? Like, we'll come up with some freestyle stuff off the top. There's nothing African about this vernacular. Now, you saw those young boys. They were slapping each other. We called that slap boxing growing up. There was also a game that we played called open chess, and then it had to get banned. Some of y'all don't know what open chess is. Open chess, I don't know how y'all played it, but open chess is if your chest is exposed, somebody could come and just punch you in the chest. They'll punch you in the chest, open chest. You feel me? Think of it like the whole little St. Patrick's Day. If you don't have green on, then somebody pinches you, right? Well, with open chest, if you ain't guarding your chest, if you don't got your chest covered like that, you know how the Wakandans, how they cross their arms. If you don't have your chest covered, bam, I'm socking you in your chest. That was a game. We can say that it's toxic. We can say that it's violent, but that's what we grew up playing. We grew up slap boxing each other. Those kids didn't hate each other. They were slapping the crap out of each other. And that's was playful. Kind of like when you see some dogs biting each other, you're like, oh no, are those dogs about to fight? Nah, they're just biting each other because, that's how dogs play. This is how street dudes play. This is how urban kids, Bay-based kids, this is how they play. I grew up slap boxing, you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of was what it was. So people were slapping their own friends, not because they hated each other, because it was a sign of endearment. When I be hearing people talk about, they called me a tether, they called me an African booty scratcher, it's like, bro, we called ourselves that, bro. kind of like a hazing into welcome into the club, welcome into the community. You can't get mad because someone called you a name, a slur, a epithet that they would be willing to call themselves, right? He slapped me. Yeah, but he was playing slap boxing with you. He didn't just try to slap you because he hated you. These kids were playing with each other while slapping each other in the face. Now, that's not a game that everyone plays, but I'm saying these are hood type of games that hood ninjas play, that hood individuals play, and you wouldn't understand it unless you come from that environment. I'm not saying that, it's the greatest game to play. I'm not saying whether it's good or bad, right or wrong. I'm just saying that it's reality. But we've been joined by the sensational and the sophisticated. Sincere salute to you. This one will be a banger. Let's put that back up. And John, I'm waiting for you. Where the hell you at, John? But it's okay. Don't worry. I got my apron on, so I'll cook this thing solo. But did any of y'all ever play this game, slap boxing, open chess? Do y'all know about that game, open chess? Or what type of games did you guys play? Sometimes they would call this type of behavior horse playing. Clearly, these are not horses playing, but you get the point, right? If a horse is playing, a horse might kick one of another. They might butt heads with each other, but it's in the language, playing. So now these young, poor black kids are enamored by some older, you feel me? By some older individuals that know that they're easy to coerce. They're easy to coerce because maybe they don't have an adequate education. And even if these people were sufficiently educated, they come from poor, impoverished, broken backgrounds. So it's people like these are the real raccoons, right? Look at bro. Fly haircut, looking dapper, debonair, pulling up clean in a ride. These are the type of people that could be easily manipulating the kids, but they're manipulating them into destroying their community. They're not saying, hey, look, man, we're going to recruit you to enfranchise the community. They're recruiting them to terrorize the community. And we're supposed to look at this dude as anything other than a raccoon? I come from this lifestyle. I come from seeing these influences, right? You know, many of us have done dirt, right? But you got to look back and say, the dirt you did, was it really worth it? And who did it serve? You go to jail putting on for the hood. Nigga, you did 5 years. You did 10 years. Your kid doesn't even know you, right? But you put on for the hood. The hood didn't put on for you. You did 10 years catching a body for the hood or 25 years catching a body. And you had a daughter, and guess what? A bunch of those hood ninjas is trying to run up in your daughter. They trying to run up in your baby mama. Does that sound like something you want to sign up for? Just saying. These games were a bonding mechanism in my hood as a kid. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The whole slap boxing and things like that. We did that to bond with each other. Like people would slap box and then we would play games after. We'll slap box and then like, hey, come over. You want to play Sega, Nintendo, PlayStation, whatever era you grew up in, right? So we didn't see it as, oh, they were being mean to each other. And in a way, they were being mean to each other, but we grew up in very harsh conditions. So the harshness somewhat humbled us, right? People being roasted and stuff, playing the dozens. Yeah, that was a form of rhetorical bullying, but is that how people seen it? They saw it as fun and games, as spits and giggles. South Central, yeah. Roger, have you seen this movie? And shout out to the East Coast finest, Mr. Nassau County. And this is a depiction of the West Coast, but this happens any and everywhere. Where there's individuals, there will be crime. Where there's individuals, there will be gangs, right? There will be coercion. There will be debauchery, degeneracy, right? We just got to call it out. If we're going to call out the Sambos and the Raccoons and the Congressional Black Caucus, the Joy Reeds, the D.L. Hewleys, the Roland Martins, well, as much as the Sambo coonery stuff that Roland Martin has done, he's never done a drive-by on anyone. I don't know Roland Martin to have sold any drugs. So yes, we can compartmentalize and say certain behaviors of Roland Martin and the buck broken brain dead Boulay could be attributed to a form of coonery. But if someone is over here misleading the community and that's a form of coonery, then this person who's misleading the community, you're misleading the youth. The youth are the future of the community, and you're going to lead the future of the community down a perilous path where they're going to be locked up and essentially become a slave. There's nothing tough about getting locked up. You want me to praise you? I got locked up. I did 10 years. Okay. And in those 10 years, I wasn't locked up and I was building money. I'm supposed to respect the nigga that got locked up for 10 years, was a slave, but meanwhile, a person that wasn't locked up, that was building for their family, that was seeing their kids, then what? He's a square. Yeah, I'll be that square. And actually, you street niggas are the squares. Street niggas, not all, but the majority, or not, let me not say the majority, a significant amount, a problematic amount of you street niggas are dweebs. You're dorks. You're nerds. There's nothing masculine about you, right? Saying, where you at, nigga? I'ma pull up on you. Okay, what is masculine about that? You have no impulse control. You're willing to slide on somebody because they scuffed your shoe. You're willing to slide on somebody because they said, man, F this block, F Logan block, F Chirac, right? But it's like, okay, cool. You're willing to stand up for that block. You don't own any property on that block. I'll die for this street. You'll die for a street where you own nothing on the street. You help terrorize the street. The reason why the property values are low, the reason why people could come buy it on pennies on a dollar and gentrify your entire neighborhood is because of niggas like this, right? And this nigga will be riding clean in a Benz, and then they'll go live in the Lily W neighborhood away from all the madness that they cause. You cause the madness and you don't want to clean it up. Someone dirties the kitchen, and rather than clean the kitchen up, they just go to a new house and say, oh, look how clean this kitchen is. Yeah, the kitchen is clean over there because you didn't dirty and muddy that one up. How about you fix the disgusting filth that you left in the other kitchen or the other neighborhood or the other block? They'll try to run to a gated community and pretend of, I made it. No, you didn't make it. You're a pathetic and a cowardly sellout. You ran from your responsibilities. I don't want to hear niggas like this talking about accountability. I don't want to hear niggas like this. And there's a video recently, I didn't watch it, but I heard there was Big Meech. Big Meech is Big Geek. I'm supposed to respect him. He's a street nigga. I'm supposed to respect him because he was selling poison to the community. I'm supposed to respect him because he was slaughtering people in the community. He a real one. No, he's not. And a real what? When you say a real one, what is the one you're referring to? Yeah, he's a real dweeb. He's a real dork. He's a real geek. You want to talk about square? These niggas are the squares. These niggas right here. I'm a gang member and I'm flying a color. Okay. So they always tell you why you call yourself black. Black is just a color. It's no country called black, right? You're not supposed to call yourself black because it's a color. Meanwhile, these people are willing to kill someone over a color, over a rag that you didn't even create. You're holding a red rag or a blue rag. You didn't create that. All you did was just buy it from someone that created it. And they didn't create that rag to be a symbol of slaughter. So yes, these new age street niggas are definitely a bunch of game, goofy goons. A bunch of geeks, dweebs, dorks, nincompoops, nitwits, twerps. Give me another word to add. This guy had me dying. He was playing himself off as someone who was positive, saying we got to protect our children. And once he said the B word, I said, this guy is a fraud. Yeah, exactly. You said family games per se. I'm still friends with them today, 30 years later. Well, salute to you and your friends, you know what I mean? And salute to your upbringing. I appreciate the Tory experience. If you're going to be a criminal, don't be a dumb criminal that gets locked up. And that's my whole thing. Fine. If you're going to be a criminal, be smart. Don't be a petty criminal. The number one rule of any crime is to not get caught. So if someone's intention was to fight someone and they got beat up, you wouldn't praise someone for getting beat up in a fight that they intended to win. So why would I praise someone for doing a crime they intended to get away with, but they got locked up? right? I'm supposed to praise a bank robber for getting caught doing a bank robbery. Well, at least he had the balls to do a bank robbery. Yeah, and he got caught. He was stupid. He had poor planning. Proper preparation prevents poor planning. And if you had prepared better, maybe you would have got away. Matter of fact, if you had unified better, you could have done something constructive and made money the legal way. Now, this ain't like the crack era anymore, right? People aren't making millions and millions by selling drugs. The people that are doing that are the alphabet agencies. But no, you'll have a better chance of making money going the legal route. And you don't have to depend on yourself. Why won't you link up with a bunch of like-minded people? They say each one teach one. I say that's outdated. Each can teach 10. You can get a bunch of people to go to your rap video. You can get a bunch of people to go to your cookout, right? But you can't just get a handful of people to help you build something sustainable for your community. The same community that you're complaining about. What about crime? What about schools? What about fatherless homes? You don't want to mentor anyone. You don't want to tutor anyone. You don't want to coach or train anyone. So what the fig are you complaining about? If them kids, okay, when one of those kids rob your moist ass, why should I care? You said F them kids and they said F you and they pistol whipped you and robbed you. It is what it is. Why should I care? Cue the tiny violin. And you said all week you've been talking about the drive-by and ain't doing nothing but drive-by DMX. Well, that's what a lot of cats do, right? But let's get back into this thing. But I present to you the raccoon by the name of again. So you said, I'm here, I'm just driving, so I don't respond. That's why. Now I appreciate you, right? Shout out to the big C. Now again, this doesn't apply to just one particular gang. This is South Central, so we talking about the Hoover Deuces right here. So he just asked him, hey, like, man, I was thinking about what if I jump you into the set? Now, I'm not a gangbanger. You feel me? I don't gangbang, but I am affiliated with gang members. You know what I mean? For me, I consider myself, you know, an individual with a street background. But I can't call myself a street nigga because you street niggas have gave that particular title and moniker a horrible name. I'm not a gangbanger, so I'm not going to claim to be something I'm not. However, I'm cool with gangbangers. Some of the most solid cats I know are either current or former gangbangers, but not all gangbanging is created equal. Not all street individuals are created equal. I respect someone that says, hey, look, yeah, I'm engaged in these street or nefarious activities, but this is just a means to an end. I'm not trying to terrorize my community. As a matter of fact, I may do this so I can transition to something better and greater, right? You see multiple communities do that, right? Whether it's the Irish mafia, Jewish mafia, all of these are organized crime groups that have folded their illegality into legitimate businesses, right? So if you are going to be engaged in these activities, you got to have an exit plan, right? And your exit plan can't just be, I'm going to slide on the ops and take the ops out and then I'm going to take over the city. Like, no, it's not realistic. Why don't you have a legal avenue to earn revenue? Because it's not like you're making millions upon millions selling whatever substance you're selling. There's so many legal avenues now. This ain't like the 80s. This ain't the 90s. So the visual that I'm showing you is from the 90s where crime was most rampant in the 80s and the 90s, right? So this is the heart of the belly of the beast that these kids are surviving. But let me just talk about the whole concept of gangs and jumping in and stuff like that, right? For me, I don't see how that's something I would want to sign up for, right? Here, to be a part of this gang, we have to abuse you and brutalize you to prove that you're tough enough to hang with us, right? And then it's not just jumping in. You got to jump in and then you got to do some sort of initiation. Sometimes somebody got to drop a body to initiate, or usually you have to terrorize or victimize an innocent bystander. What is manly about that? Here, go do a drive-by on the ops. A bunch of those people weren't ops. It was in an op neighborhood and you did a drive-by on civilians. So tell me what's masculine or manly about that? We all cool, right? Big Rig and John. Hey, Big Rig and John, in order for y'all to hit the link, I gotta jump y'all in. I gotta stomp y'all out and beat y'all up to hit the link to prove that y'all really down with the cause. Okay. We talk about the Black Panthers. Did the Black Panthers have to beat people up and jump them in? If you're thinking about cleaning up your community, here, I want to clean up the community, but we got to beat each other up before we can start building with each other. How does that make any sense? And this is framed as no, it's just showing that you're tough. No, showing that you're tough is making sure rival gangs don't take over the neighborhood. Showing that you're tough is helping old ladies cross the street with their groceries. Making you want to be tough, there should be a bunch of kids where it's safe for them to have a lemonade stand on the street. That's what toughness is. There should be little girls that if they went to school in their schoolgirl uniform as a skirt, they should be able to walk home and not be violated by perverted men because you can't handle a young lady walking by in a skirt. How pathetic are you? You see a girl in a skirt, hey, look, you're a man, right? It's okay to be attracted. It's not okay to be harassing women, right? It's not okay to be harassing young girls. It's not okay to be harassing young dudes because you think, oh, this dude is a geek, so it's funny to bully them, right? And then when you niggas go to jail, you get bullied. You get bullied by a CO that's a pipsqueak. You niggas get buck broken, and then you want to come out and try to act like you're hard. I'm tough because I went to jail. Nigga, you went to jail and bent over and spread your cheeks. Nigga, there's nothing hard about that. I'm supposed to look up to a nigga who had to go to jail, bend over, spread his cheeks, cough. No, cough one more time. No, cough one more time. Nigga, you had to cough 3 times with your cheeks spread wide open. Nigga, is that, there's no pause, there's no more pause-worthy moment than that. So the niggas who didn't bend over and spread cheeks, somehow you're harder than them. Yeah, you are hard, all right, nigga. You niggas talking about, I love women, but you keep getting locked up around a bunch of niggas. You're walking around niggas with their dicks out. Pause. Nigga, you're the one walking around with niggas with their dicks out. Why do you keep going back? You love women so much, but you keep getting locked up with a bunch of niggas where you gotta bend over and spread your ass cheeks. Tell me what is hard about anything I said. What is gangster about that? I'm gangster. I'll rep the set, cuz. The same set that's had you in there bending over and dropping your pants whenever they tell you to. Don't worry. I'll wait for someone to tell me how masculine and gangster that is. My gangbanging partners was very respectful to the elders, and that's why I said it's not all, but it's a problematic amount. It's a significant amount. Some of the realest cats I know is gang members. Some of the cats that got some of the coldest gang, but the thing is they transitioned for just some goofy hanging on the block gang banging. They did their time. You do the crime, you do the time. They got out and now they are gamed up. Now they've made something successful of their life. Many of them are mentoring the youth. Many of them are starting their own businesses. Many gang members have jobs now. They're going the legal route, right? The same gang members that was calling people nerds for work, and now those same gang members are working a job. So who truly is the nerd? The nerds are you gang members going around terrorizing the community and you have nothing to show for it. You say, it's my block. No, it's not. It's just a street that you got tatted on your body. You don't own anything on this block. And matter of fact, you're the reason why the block is no longer predominantly black, because you made it so uninhabitable that many of the blacks left. And then the rest of the buildings, they got marked as uninhabitable. They got bought for pennies on the dollars, and then they get tore down and gentrified. And then you see white women running around with their little Yorkies and stuff. And once you see that, your neighborhood has been gentrified. They're not going to allow whatever they call riffraff going on, right? There will be cameras installed, so crimes will get solved expeditiously. All these people claiming the hood, but ask them, you're claiming the hood, but why don't you own any property? You talk about, man, I made so much money selling crack and selling all this. Okay, cool. What did that money do to put in the hood? So you took money out the hood, and then after you terrorized the hood, you want to go move to another neighborhood? What is masculine about that? It's cowardly. You terrorize something, you tear down something, but you don't build it up. Rather than build it up, you run away. That's a whole move. But you're supposed to look at them. They tough because they got guns. Okay, a bunch of Ku Klux Klan members had guns and they covered their face while terrorizing black communities. Would you call the Ku Klux Klan tough because they have guns? I mean, come on now. Like, what are we talking about here? They got guns and rags. Okay, what does that do for the community? Sabby sent me some government documents proving CIA involvement in the stoking beef between Biggie and Tupac. Yes, not surprising, but made me think how much CIA was involved in turning Crips into gangs. Well, they were, because the gang started as a protection agency, as a defensive alliance for the community, and then they start paying off many of the gangbangers. They start dropping drugs in the community. And yes, of course, no one was forced to sell drugs and no one was forced to take drugs. But then again, no one forced them to plant drugs as well and do COINTELPRO and wiretaps and all this stuff. None of them were forced to do that, right? 90% of my partners hit the prison yard. Now they're doing great. Some owning their own business. Salute to them. That's a very great story about retribution, right? I'm a cat with a street background. You know what I mean? So I'm telling y'all what I know. I'm telling y'all what I've experienced. Some of the stuff, if I tell people, they like, oh wow, that really happened to you? Oh wow, that really happened to your family? You know, people think it's like a movie, or First 48 is like, nah, it's really not a movie. That's what happened in my life. This is what I grew up in. This is what I'm a product of. Not to glorify it. I'm just saying it just kind of is what it is. But we have to just discuss. And when we seen the documentary Hood to Hood, many of us love the documentary, but then when you go back and look at it, it was a lot of buffoonery and a lot of coonery in the Hood to Hood. However, it was an actual depiction of the environment and the elements, and that Hood to Hood documentary got a lot of people locked up. It got a lot of people locked up. But hey, this one particular dude made a lot of money off of it, but he got a lot of niggas locked up over that. So, some people wanted them to be locked up. So, some people see it as a win-win. All facts. We all have backgrounds. Hopefully we've grown from the BS. Yeah, I don't look down at somebody and say, oh, this person was a thug, he was a gang member and all this stuff. I actually might respect you more if you have a street background, because the only difference between these so-called street niggas and street individuals and the corporate tycoons and sharks and oligarchies is just they straddle the fence between what's legal and illegal, right? If you do a crime, they'll call it, well, that's just black crime and that's just criminality. They do a crime, it's called white collared crime. But what is really worse, right? If someone sold let's just say an ounce of weed, someone sold an ounce of weed to a willing individual, right? Somebody wanted to sell the weed and somebody wanted to buy the weed. They'll frame this person as selling the weed is worse than someone that has embezzled millions of dollars. Look at when they had the bank crisis in '08, right? Those people had bamboozled people out of millions and millions of dollars. What is worse, bamboozling someone out of millions of dollars or selling an ounce of weed to someone who's a pothead and wants to buy weed? Many people are locked up for non-violent drug offenses, but they're framed as, oh my God, they're so criminal. They're criminal for selling weed? Okay, fine. But now weed is legal. But what happened to all those people who are locked up for selling weed? They're still ostracized. They're still demonized. And many of them still are felons. And people don't really have an issue with felons. They only have an issue with a black person being a felon, right? Because when it came to Trump being a felon, they were like, I don't care if Trump is a felon. I still want to vote for him. I will vote for Donald Trump. But if Obama was a felon, would anyone be willing to vote for Obama? They try to act like felon is a dirty word, but where in the Bible does it say anything about felons? Could anyone quote to me the verse in scripture that the Bible talks about felons? They talk about only God could judge. Well, why are you judging other felons? You're not God. And why are you even saying that if you don't truly believe that only God could judge, but you're judging someone because of their felonious background? And then a felony sticks with you your whole life. So if you were 16 years old and you got a felony and they charge you as adult, when you're 36, that felony is still looming over your head. When you're 56, that felony is still looming over your head. You caught a felony when you're 16 and now you're 40 and they're still saying, yeah, but you a felon though. It's like, bro, I was 16. Your brain wasn't even fully formed, but you're still being held to account for that. And these are the same Bible thumpers that talk about let go and let God and forgive. You don't want to forgive a felon who changed his life around simply because he's a felon. But you will forgive Donald Trump, who says he wants to grab people by the pussy. You will forgive him because of what? The complexion for the protection of the collection. And shout out to Frank Nitty, Mr. Gritty, putting on for the biddy. And where the heck have you been? We've been joined by the 504 boy, Woody, the New Orleans fam, in the building. So what else is new in the world? Everlasting despair. Well, there are people suffering from what they call the diseases of despair, but this is why we all we got and we all we need. If you're going through a tough situation and you just need to talk to somebody, hit me on the DM, you know what I mean? I'll provide, some companionship, some advice if it's needed. But, we got to help each other. We got to talk through these things. We got to be able to disagree respectfully, right? If it's okay if you disagree, you don't just need to disrespect someone in order to voice your opinion, right? We need to have these very culturally nuanced dialogues and discourse. And shout out to Peach. Hold on. This can't be. This, is it the cataracts? This can't be who I think it is.
Oh, damn! Dr. Fresh, wait a minute. I know you. Wait a minute.
Shout out to Peach. Peach Cobbler. I appreciate you, Peach. You said what you're saying now in regards to them being real coons killing community is what I said early in 90s when we were turning away from conscious hip hop gangster rap. I was too straight laced. Hey, I'm just saying, I didn't know if that was really you, Peach. I had to squint. Was it the cataracts? Did I have an eye booger? I'm like, oh no, that's really Peach. Salute to Miss Cobbler. Learn to get used to it years ago. It's just part of reality. It's completely fine. Yeah, it's all good, Braxton. Well, it's all love over here. But yeah, don't be pulling that little disappearing act on me, Braxton. You know what I mean? You got to stay in touch with the fam. But salute to the New Orleans fam. And I get what you're saying. Some people do believe that gangster rap was a gateway to coonery because they saying, hey, well, why are y'all reflecting this? But sometimes I think people put too much on gangster rap, right? Because there was a lot of gangster movies, but let's be honest, what is more visually influential? Someone talking about crack, I sold a bunch of crack, right? Or a visual of a movie and they're showing a hand-to-hand exchange of crack. You can't convince me that a visual of someone slanging crack is less powerful than someone rapping about it. And people are rapping about the conditions that they seen. Who is more qualified to rap about it than someone that are a gang banging that's submerged in the conditions of the community where there's a bunch of crack around, there's a bunch of crack pipes around, there's a bunch of gang violence and drive-bys, right? Now, some people's like, well, we need to talk about conscious stuff. There wasn't conscious stuff going on. People were selling, buying, and snorting crack. Yeah, but rap about something conscious. There wasn't anything conscious going on. You know what I mean? And the things that were conscious that were going on, people could still make those, people could still make that type of music. It's just people were more related, people found it more relatable and more entertaining. It's just like the negativity, bro. People want to hear and see negativity. So that's kind of what it was. But shout out to John. And John, you can hit the link, right? Because even right now, we have a lot of so-called gangster rappers, but these are all studio gangsters. These are all wanksters. These are all cats that never touched the yard, and these are cats that don't come from the soil. Back then, you actually really had to be a reputable figure to talk about this stuff. Who is more qualified to talk about gangster rap than people who are actually gangsters? Who is more qualified to talk about crack dealings, blood spilling, drive-bys than people who are engaged in that, who are experienced that. Regardless if people don't want to hear that because they don't think that it's conscious, someone wanted to hear it, right? Literally millions and millions of people want to hear it, and the main people who want to hear it are non-black people. They want to hear non-black people want to hear it because it leans into the stereotype. See, blacks are just like that. This is just their culture, right? But our culture is a lot more than gang banging and gangster rap. And sometimes too many people, they put so much on gangster rap. The reason why there's so much crime is because gangster rap. No, that's not, because it's a bunch of white boys in Lily W neighborhoods, and guess what they listen to? They're not listening to Garth Brooks. They're not listening to Keith Urban. They're listening to Lil Durk. They're listening to NBA Youngboy. They're listening to so-called gangster rap. But guess what? There's not a litany of these white dudes doing drive-bys on each other, even though they're listening to the same music. Poverty is the greatest predictor of crime, not rap music. They say rap music is the soundtrack for crime. So if somebody is doing a crime, yeah, if somebody is going to do a drive-by, they may put on some rap music. It's not the rap music that caused them to do a drive-by. Matter of fact, when you see Menace to Society, they were playing Al Green, Love and Happiness. So when AWACS, remember this scene? Hold on.
And you know what, nigga? You acting like a little bitch right now. You acting like a little bitch right now, nigga. Man, fuck that. I ain't letting that shit ride.
They were riding around in an old school car listening to oldies, Al Green to be exact. The song they were listening to was Love and Happiness. So really think about the irony, right? Those niggas weren't happy and they didn't have love in their heart, yet they were listening to an R&B song, Love and Happiness, before they ride around to go pop a op. When anyone blame Al Green, the reason why they did that drive-by was because Al Green. You mean the person who made a song called Love and Happiness? And on top of that, people always try to blame rap music for certain crime. But then on top of that, they talk about fatherless homes and, teenage pregnancies, but no one blames that on R&B. What did they call R&B? R&B was literally called baby making music. But then when we have all these teen pregnancies, no one is blaming rap music. Oh, no, it was because of the parents. So if someone does a drive-by, it's not because of the parents, it was because of rap music. But if a girl is 14 and getting impregnated, it's not because of R&B, it was just bad parenting. Yeah, it was bad parenting, that's why the 14-year-old got pregnant, and it was bad parenting, that's why the 16-year-old got locked up for gang violence. It wasn't for rap music. Again, rap music is just the soundtrack to many of these nefarious activities. It's not the cause of it. They've done many psychological studies that prove this. So many times people keep trying to use that rap music as a scapegoat. And I simply don't buy it. You say, I'm going to be up in a minute blending this tea batch. What kind of tea you got? Talking about the Clive Davis influence with the CIA and private prisons to elevate gangsta while cutting off the spigot for new Chuck D and KRS. It was a concerted effort to create balance within the industry. This I concur with. You blame Al Green for hot grits? Well, I do love grits. I ain't had grits in a minute, but let me ask y'all this. Does sugar go on grits? You know what? I'm going to cut y'all off and say, yes, it does. I don't, man, some sugar and a little bit of butter in the grits, delicioso. However, I can eat grits sweet and savory, right? A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, you know what I mean? Some hot links, you feel me? But I loved the grits growing up. And shout out to the brother that came in earlier. I think his name was Alexander. He asked, hey, what do y'all eat in the Bay for breakfast? Now, I don't eat this no more. But when I grew up, hot link, eggs, and grits. That would be a fire mix, you know what I mean? And it all depends. If you got a sweet tooth, you add a little butter and sugar to the grits. And if you want to keep it savory, you add that salt and pepper. But the butter must be added. And I know the New Orleans fam is in here, so they do like shrimp and grits. I never had shrimp and grits, but I heard people say it's delicious. Oh, shout out to Peach. I know Peach is from down south. And if I'm not mistaken, Peach Cobbler, Miss Cobbler is part of the Florida fam. And I got my other Florida fam, Sunlight from the Sunshine State. So, Peach, when I pull up in Florida, I'm gonna need a plot of those grits. Don't try to throw them on me. Just throw them on my plate. Don't throw them on me. Throw them on my plate. Now, what else you make with the grits? Is it links? Is it sausage? Is it bacon? Let me know. I figured you was a savory guy, salt, pepper, and butter. You gotta add the butter. As a Louisianan, I have to have shrimp and grits. I gotta try the shrimp and grits. I've never tried it before. Now, that may be sacrilegious as a foundational Black American freedman, but no, I haven't had it. And shout out to John. I appreciate you rocking out. You said put some milk or a little bit of heavy cream in your grits. Make them extra creamy. Hey, shout out to Mrs. Cobbler. I knew she had some recipes for me. I appreciate that. I'm going to have to try. I'm going to have to bring those grits back. Okay, rig. Okay, rig like salt and sugar. Rig like that balance of sweet and savory. Some people, they think that it's just sacrilegious, like sugar doesn't go in grits. Like, yes, it does. I love sugar and grits. It's fire, but I don't discriminate on salt and pepper. I love the salt and pepper. Push it. I love the group salt and pepper, and I love a little bit of salt and pepper on my grits. But let me get back into this though. But I appreciate that. Now I got to try grits with shrimp, and I got to put a little bit of heavy cream to make them extra creamy. I never had extra creamy grits. Now, some people do got those watery, runny grits. I don't want my grits runny. I don't want no grit soup. I'm not eating that, but I do love me some grits. I'm surprised I haven't had none in a while. But if you add some grits with a hot link and a little bit of that hot link flavor roll off into the grits, I know some people don't like to mix food. But if you got a hot link and the hot link juices rolling to the grits, I'm telling y'all, fire. White people have gangs and a couple of them can be named. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'll present to you Gangs of New York, right? You watch the movie Gangs of New York is white on white crime slaughtering each other. But guess what? It wasn't framed as white on white crime, even though that's what it is. Russians are white. Ukrainians are white. Lily W's blue-eyed blonde hair, slaughtering each other to the tunes of hundreds of thousands. And no one is calling it white on white crime. No one is asking about their culture. No one is saying who raised them. Who raised Putin? Who raised Vladimir Putin? Fair questions to ask. Don't do that. Don't do that, Peach. You talking about sugar and grits are diabolical? I told you, Big Rig, some people think that sugar and grits is just, rather sacrilegious. I'm not one of those. But I'm balanced. I love a little bit of sugar and grits, and I love the salt and the pepper. That's what I'm saying, Big Rig. Yeah. Peach, I love you, but hold on now, Peach. Hold on now. Slow your roll, Peach. You said in the film Sleepers 1996, but let's get back into it, right? We're talking about the raccoons that are rarely discussed, and this is one of them. Ray the gangbanger, Ray the deuce. So you heard him. He said, hey, man, what you need, that 187? So this young gunner is willing to pop somebody for the set, cuh. But what would he get out of it, right? And then he's saying not right now, which means that, okay, so what? You gonna want this young dude to catch a body in the future, but for what? For the set, cuh. What set? You don't own any property on the set. Yeah, but I'm selling dope on the set. You're selling dope on the set, and all of that dope money you collected, you want to take it to another neighborhood. What is respectful about this? What is manly about this? Matter of fact, shout out to my bro, Big Rig. Imagine this was your son, right? Would you look at this son as a father figure or a mentor towards your son? Someone that's trying to engage and coerce your son to go catch a 187 for the set, good? The set that's been decimated, demolished, and torn down and gentrified? It's been gentrified because you've been dropping bodies on the set. And when the property was low, right? Because you helped cause the property value to go lower, why didn't you take advantage from all that money that you made from the hood and buy up some of the property? Instead, you ran to another neighborhood and said, yeah, I'm going to buy property here and live comfortably. And I'm going to be away from the destruction that I caused. That's irresponsible. That's reckless. And it's rather pathetic. Tell me what's respectful about this, right? Oh, you just a square. You just a nerd. Nigga, I'm more street than you. I've done more street stuff than you. I'm speaking from experience. Street niggas are the new nerds, dweebs, geeks, nitwits, nincompoops, twerps. That's what you niggas are. Prove me otherwise. I'll pull up on you. Okay. You pull up on me, that will be the last pull up you do. Because you niggas are so gangster, right? And guess what? I fear for my life. I fear for my life from you thuggish ruffians. So when you get anywhere in my vicinity talking what you talking about and I boom bap you, you better hope you go to the upper room or talk to Lucifer in the basement. Either way, I'm going to defend myself by any means necessary. You want to get mad at me because what I'm saying rhetorically that you can't refute. But you're not mad at the people who are mass incarcerating you. You're not mad at the people who are gentrifying your neighborhood. You're not mad at recent immigrants coming over here and calling you pinche mayate. You're not mad at them. You're not sliding on them, but you want to slide on me because you can't refute what I'm saying. Where you at, cuz? I'll pull up on you. Do it then. You didn't pull up on the CEO. Matter of fact, you pulled down your pants for the CEO and bent over. You'll pull up on me to try to pop me and end up pulling down your pants for a CO. Again, what is hard and what is gangsta about that? Let's get back into it. Okay, so what is manly and respectful about Ray Ray? Ray Ray, at least in showing this movie, Ray Ray didn't have any kids, at least that they shown that he was taken care of. But he's going and using his influence on other people's kids and telling other people's kids, hey, go rob some stereos for me and then I'll pay you for it. You take all the risk and I'll pay you pennies on the dollar for what, you know, the massive risk that you took. And here, let me give you a joint because this is a little, let me see that joint. That joint is a pinner. You know this is the 90s. I'll be like, come on, bruh. Give me something a little fat than that. Like, if you're going to give me a joint, I need a joint that looked like a finger. Bro gave him something that looked like a fingernail. Here's a little bit bud for you too. It's like, yeah, that was definitely a little bit of bud right there, right? But I'm just trying to figure out what is manly, what is respectable about anything that was done. Now, these are the environment and the conditions that we grew up in, but we're not kids anymore. Back in the days, I was young. I'm not a kid anymore, right? You're not a kid anymore. And even though some days you look back and still wish you was a kid again, I have those days too, right? But do you wish you were a kid again so that you can rob stereos for the set, cuh? So that you can, you know, recruit your homies to be gang members? Is that what you wish? Would you want a nigga like Ray Ray hanging around your kids as a mentor? I'm just saying. And if you wouldn't want him as a mentor, then why not? Right? Why not? So you says, I like malto meal. Let me see. I might have mixed y'all. You said peach sugar go on cream of wheat, not grits. Oh, you said sugar goes on cream of wheat, not grits. Roger. Come on, Roger. You said you said sugar goes on cream of wheat, not grits. Come on, Roger.
Right.
No, sugar goes on grits just as well as goes on rice. And there's even some beans, right? You can even put it on. I'm telling you, bro, if you put it on these baked beans, I'm trying to tell you. You said, I would never advise anyone to join a gang. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm just trying to look at it. My whole thing is, if it was a gang that meant what the Crips meant originally, which was the Common Revolution in Progress or Community Revolutionary Inter-Party Service or Community Reform Inter-Party Service, right? I can respect that because you're creating a gang for the purpose of enrichment, the purpose of enfranchisement. I can't respect you creating a gang to terrorize the community that you're going to flee, right? Imagine someone comes and tears up your house, but then they go go somewhere else. Well, I don't gotta live here. Yeah, you don't gotta live here. So why'd you tear up the house? And then the house that you tore up, you don't want to clean it. You don't want to fix anything because I'll live in another city. Yeah, you live in another city after you terrorize this city. This city that you were claiming, this city that you got tatted on your back, but you don't want to do anything to fix it up. You've done so much to cause destruction to the community, but where's the construction of something better that you destroyed? What is there to respect about that, right? Nothing. There's nothing manly or masculine about niggas running around in gangs targeting innocent civilians, right? Trying to rob, cats that are just like hopeless predators, right? No one respects a bully that's going around bullying people. That's why they say pick on someone your own size, right? Well, pick on someone that's doing the gang banging stuff. And shout out to Geechee Gotti, free Geech, right? But he said, we don't give a F if you got shot. That's what happens when you gang bang. You want me to, man, I got shot. I went to jail, nigga. I don't care. That's what happened when you do crime, nigga. You do the crime, you do the time. Right now, when you get locked up, no one cares. They be like, oh yeah, bro, kind of is what it is. I'll be right back, right? You knew what you signed up for. When you sign up to be a gang member, you're signing up for that. You're signing up to shoot people. You're signing up to get shot at. You're signing up to potentially go to jail. So when the things happen that you potentially knew was going to happen, like, bro, what sympathy are you looking for? Man, that's messed up. So-and-so got shot. It's like, oh, you mean the nigga that shot like 4 people? Why should I care that he got shot? He got shot. He shot 4 people. What goes around comes around. I mean, what were you expecting? You said, I remember my pullout, it was a Jensen. I never had a Jensen, but I did have a Blaupunkt. I had a Clarion, Sony, Pioneer. Those are the main ones that I had. What was the other one? I think there was one that started with an A. I can't really think about the other one, though. You said that movie is insane. Which movie are you referring to? The movie that I'm playing or what? You said, oh, hell no. Is you putting sugar on rice? Yeah, hold on, Peach. You won't put no sugar on no rice. Hell no, Peach. Don't do this, Peach. Do not do this, Peach. Yes, sugar does go on rice. Just as well as salt and pepper goes on rice, sugar goes on rice. Sugar on rice is delicious. If you put some butter and sugar on rice, delicioso. Delicioso. South Central. Yeah, this movie is a beast, right? And once you go back and watch it, it's a lot of gems that were dropped. But let me just play the rest of this before I transition.
Thanks, Ray.
It's okay. And I respect you.
So we can see how people would be easily influenced by that, right? You got an older cat pulling up on you in a clean Benz. Mind you, this is the 90s, so that Benz that he had was clean. So it's a dude with a Benzie. He got money. He got a baddie in the back. As a young cat, I mean, that's something to aspire to. You're a young cat living in the hood. His mom was a crackhead or something. His dad was a gangbanger in jail. You become a product of your environment. You're trying to tell this kid he should be on the straight and narrow, but then these are the elements that he's around. Dilapidated buildings, shot up cars, and then here you have an older gangbanger coming up to him and saying, hey, look, bro, all you got to do, the same gangbanging stuff you're doing, just keep doing that, but I'm going to pay you for it. I'm going to give you a little bit of money, a little bit of bud, but you're going to get a lot of notoriety. You're going to get a lot of respect. People aren't going to mess with you because you a Hoover or you a VL or a GD or something like that, right? So there are reasons why people do clamor towards the gang banging, but there is a lot of goofball buffoonery of it all, and we just got to call it out. You said, what's wrong with these California tongue? God, come on, Roger. Damn, Roger, not my brother. My brother Roger is saying no sugar on rice. Bro, what's wrong with y'all? Peach, I love you, Peach. Roger, I love you. Salute my bruh. But what is wrong with y'all, bruh? No sugar on rice, no sugar on grits. Come on, man. What are y'all doing?
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Now I'm gonna pivot and I'm gonna play another video that we can get into. And I was waiting for John or Big Rick to hit the chat, to hit the link, but if they don't trip. I'm still just gonna, you know, continuously rock out. But I do appreciate y'all though. But just give me 1 second right here to pull this up. And shout out to the Tori Experience. She hit me on the Cash App. And matter of fact, have y'all liked the stream yet? Have y'all hit subscribe? It won't cost you a fee. The likes are free. However, if you are feeling generous and you do want to make a contribution,
If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and smash that. If you're feeling generous, then you can hit the Cash App. $Easy Stack. It's easy to remember. All them donations that you contribute make it feel like it's the 25th of December. Hit the Cash App. It's preferred over Super Chat because YouTube takes 30% off the top, and that's stupid whack. So if you wanna see growth and watch the content get greater, send a Cash App to B-Eazy Dat Dude.
so there you go. $Easy Stack, EAZY Stack. And actually, matter of fact, I'm gonna hit the banner, and my banner is right at the bottom. Cash App Easy Stack. And shout out to Hump a Lot. That's one that's one heck of a name. Hump a Lot says they don't know good eating. Yeah, Peach is a lovely lady, but Peach, you don't know what's good for you. They say don't knock it till you try it. And Peach, have you even tried it? How are you knocking it if you haven't tried it? That's what I'm trying to figure out, Peach. How are you saying that sugar don't go on rice when you haven't even tried it? I'm just saying. Now, hold on. Let me, give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull some. I had something pulled up, but it looks like I can't find it right now. So just give me 1 second and I'm going to give me 30 seconds. I'm gonna play a visual and I'm gonna pull this screen up. Give me 30 seconds.
Be easy, he is that dude. It's plain and obvious. A certified professional, ain't never been a hobbyist. He is one of the nicest, realest, coldest, and dopest. So you should take notice. Woo! That dude, be easy, that dude, be easy, that dude. Show love and support to be easy, that dude.
Be easy, be easy. Ooh.
Okay. So here we go. So we're going to talk about, give me uno momento. How could we truly address the gang violence, right? Now, just hopping on a YouTube panel and saying, what about black on black crime in fatherless homes, right? That's not doing anything to mitigate, to eliminate, to eradicate the so-called crime that you're talking about. And if you're unwilling to step up to the plate and do anything about it, then just shut up. Just sit down, go watch your Netflix, go in the corner and circle jerk, whatever you need to do. Just shut up when the adults are trying to clean up the mess that many of you guys started, right? People who are coming up after and trying to mentor the youth and clean up some of the nonsense. It's like, dude, I didn't cause this stuff. I'm cleaning up the mess that you made, right? I shouldn't have to clean up your mess, right? I shouldn't have to clean up a pile of dishes. It's like, dude, you dirtied these dishes. Why didn't you clean the kitchen? But since you left the kitchen disgusting, don't worry, I'll clean it up. It's just I don't want to hear from you and I don't even want to see you. because you're a pathetic, irresponsible individual who doesn't need to be anywhere near a community that's trying to enrich, empower, and enfranchise themselves. Many of you gang members and street individuals, you're causing a detrimental effect to the community, the same community that you're complaining about. You're the one who destroyed it. Now, of course, there were external forces that assisted and aided you in that, but we're talking about personal responsibility. When you point the finger at someone, there's 3 of them pointed back at you. So, how do we combat this, right? There's youth programs. I know people, F them kids, them ain't my kids, so you can't have it both ways. If you say F them kids, then it truly means F them kids. You don't care about what happens to the kids, so fine. Once they know that and they realize that you don't care about what happens to them, why should they care about what happens to you? Why is the kids robbing people? Why is the kids doing teen takeovers? Why is the kids doing street takeovers? Because you said F them. You don't care, and they shouldn't care about your so-called authority. They don't care about your morality. They don't care about your little musty finger wagging, because you don't care about them, and you don't care, and they don't care about you. It's even, right? Now, you don't need government intervention. You don't need anyone to put a battery in your back for you to establish after-school programs, sports leagues, mentorship opportunities, arts and initiatives to provide constructive alternatives to gang involvement, right? If you have a studio, won't you let the young homies come through? Not the YNs, right? They ain't YNs, they ain't young niggas, they YHs, young homies, they YBs, young brothers. And if they are YNs, let them be young nerds. Salute to the nerds. Salute to the blurs, the black nerds. Let them be YGs, young geeks. I'd rather help a young geek than a YN, unless it's a young nerd. I'll help my young homie. I'll help my YB, my young brother. I'll help them. And not to say I won't help the YNs, but what I'm saying is they don't need to be called the YNs. You're bestowing and projecting that title onto them when this kid is on the straight and narrow, comes from a great family, and you're calling them a YN. Why? Don't blame that on rap music, right? There wasn't a rapper that forced you to call a young, aspiring brother a YN. You chose to do that. So since you chose to do that, you can choose not to do that as well. So what is stopping you from creating an after-school program outside of you saying, if them kids, okay, if one of those kids unfortunately does something to your daughter or bullies your son or robs your house, those are the kids that you said F-U-C-K to. And that's why they didn't care about, causing destructive behavior towards your community and environment. Education access, improve school retention, provide tutoring, promote vocational training to reduce the socioeconomic factors that encourage gang activity. If you got a bunch of cars, right? Won't you be like, hey, bruh, hey, YBs, come over here and I'm going to show y'all how to change a tire. I'm going to show you how to do an oil change. I'm going to show you how to drop an engine. I'll teach you how to drive. Why can't you do that? And then you'll have your own gang. You'll have your own army, but you'll have a gang and an army for good. You have a gang of young brothers that are sophisticated, that are stylish, that are debonair, that are strong, and they're willing to stand on business for their culture, their community, and lineage, right? But instead, you got a bunch of gang members who are, I'll stand on business for a block that no one owns. These people get locked up. And they come back 10 years later, and guess what? What opportunities are going to be afforded to them? So they're going to go back around the perpetual cycle of being a jailbird. You can prevent that. Now, you're not going to save everyone, but you're not required to save everyone. The thing is, you haven't saved anyone. If you saved one person, one is more than zero. You haven't saved one, you haven't saved two. You had a party and you got a whole bunch of people to go to your party, but what did you accomplish by that party? You partied and bull crap, but what did you accomplish? You know what I mean? F them kids. You say F them kids and you don't want to mentor or tutor a young brother for 2 hours, but you will entertain an OnlyFans thoughts for 6 hours that cost you money. and you don't get anything out of it. I mean, this chick has community vagina, and you spent hundreds, if not thousands, on her, but you won't break off the young brother with a 20 spot. You won't say, hey, bruh, my grass is tall. Come over and I'll pay you an hourly rate to cut my grass. This is what kids did when they were younger, which is why some kids stayed out of trouble by having a pool boy job, a paper boy job, having various outlets and institutions to go to that kept them off the street, right? If I had a studio and I had young dudes in there recording for 5 hours on a day, they're not going to have 5 hours to sit on the block waiting for an op that I could slide on. Why haven't you set this up? Niggas act like I got so much money. I'm AOB. I'll get it out of bitch. Well, get that bitch to pay for this cultural center then, right? Since you get it out, since it's all on a biddy. Community centers develop safe zones where youth and families can access resources, counseling, and recreational activities. All the people that, what about black on black crime? Have any of these people are talking like this? All these people, they love to talk about their degree. I have a master's in this. I have a bachelor's in this. I'm a PhD. Okay, what have you created with your PhD? You want to fly your degree, and I'm supposed to be proud of your degree, but that degree has done nothing to uplift the community. Parental support. Offer parenting workshops and family services that strengthen supervision and provide conflict resolution skills. And I do have an installment that I'm going to do called Parental Guidance, where I talk to, interview, and have discussions with other parents so we can talk about, you know, some of the flaws of past parenting, modern day parenting, what the mistakes people have made as a parenting and how they rectify that. It's to not scold or admonish anyone. It's to say that, hey, if it takes a village, then that village has to come together. It takes a village, but it doesn't take a village of janitors. It doesn't take a village of lawyers. It takes a village that has janitors and has lawyers and has teachers and has cops and firemen and plumbers in various career paths, right? It takes a village of diverse orientations, backgrounds, and careers. In terms of the job opportunities, facilitate employment programs, apprenticeships for at-risk youth returning citizens to reduce the incentive for criminal activity. You can't complain about, man, all these dudes is gangbangers, okay? A lot of those gangbangers, they pretty cold with the mic. Some of those gangbangers are pretty dope with instruments. Hey, come over to the studio and you can record for free. What is really better, right? Letting a gangbanger record for free or letting that gangbanger roam free and terrorize the community? If they if they're in your presence in the studio, and you over here cooking them up some fire stuff, and I say, look, man, not only am I going to record you, I'm going to shoot a video for you. This takes hours upon hours of your day. If they're in the studio recording for hours and like, hey, look, man, I got an extra laptop over there. Don't you make beats? Here, use this computer to make beats. Or matter of fact, I'll train you how to make beats. And then you train them about ASCAP and BMI and royalties and things like that. What is stopping you from doing that? You don't need permission from the higher power. You don't need permission from a political party to do this. But instead of doing this, many people have just said online, what about black on black crime? Okay. What about black on black crime? What have you done to address it? Oh, I made a podcast calling it out because we got to hold each other accountable. No, you don't have the authority to hold anyone accountable. If some crusty, rusty, musty, dusty nigga from Oakland, Chicago, or Baltimore does a gang banging drive-by, how am I going to hold this nigga accountable that I don't even know? And guess what? They are being held accountable by the state. They got locked up and given a football number sentence. Guess what that is? Accountability. So if someone already got locked up and is being held accountable by the legal system, how is me hopping on a podcast talking about black on black crime? How is that holding the community accountable? No, don't try to hold me accountable for something that someone didn't do. And notice that the community is only held accountable for violence, debaucherous, and degenerative acts. So a nigga does a drive-by, right? A nigga robs a liquor store. That's black culture, right? And we all got to answer for it. But if a black person becomes successful and is a millionaire, suddenly that's not black culture. And that doesn't truly represent black people, because that's one man. Yeah, that's one man who's a billionaire, and that doesn't represent the entirety of the community. So one billionaire doesn't represent the entirety of the community, but one gangbanger does? Huh? Make it make sense. You can't, because it doesn't. House instability. Address overcrowded or unstable housing, as marginalized environments often correlate with higher crime rates. Some people are homeless, you know what I mean? Hey, you know, maybe, you can give someone a position as a living nanny, a living helpmeet, right? A living handyman. And you can say, hey, look, man, I know you want to get on your feet. So for 3 months, this is how you'll work and pay off the rent. Or some people have ADUs. Some people are comfortable sleeping in their car. Hey, look, man, you can't sleep in here, but you can park your car outside of my house and sleep inside the car. And then if you need to take a shower or use the restroom, you can come in at appropriate hours of the day, right? It's not a perfect fix, but many people will be okay with that. There's a bunch of people that's like, hey, I'm cool with living in my car. I just need a spot to take a shower every now and then. And you can provide that. Community policing. You build trust between police and the communities to encourage information sharing and reduce tensions. Focus deterrence, target interventions on the most violent offenders through direct communication about consequences combined with support offerings. Hotspot policing. Use data-driven approaches to focus interventions in high crime areas while ensuring actions respect civil rights. Support trained community members or outreach workers who mediate conflicts before they escalate. Again, all of the what about black on black crime people, why aren't they talking about this? If they really want to have an end to black on black crime, why aren't they discussing any of this stuff? Why haven't they implemented stuff? Because some of these people, like Officer Fakem, Kunston White, Kuntan Daniels, many of these people have made hundreds of thousands, if not millions, disrespecting the black community. And what have those millions went to? Jewelry, buying materialistic things that I'm supposed to be enamored with. Why would you be enamored with another nigga wearing a chain? And not only that, they're wearing a chain, a Jesus piece that Jesus never wore. Show me the videos. Clearly, there were no videos, so I'm being facetious. There's no videos of Jesus wearing a Jesus piece. There are no photos, and there's no historical, rhetorical accounts of Jesus wearing a Jesus piece or an iced out cross. So when you're wearing all of these symbolic, religious, these religious symbols, who is that for? You got to iced out Jesus because this is for the Most High. No, it's not. The Bible actually talks about how materialism is a form of idolatry, and idolatry is a sin. So I'm supposed to look at a nigga like Kunston White or Kuntan Daniel. They got money though. So because someone has money, it's okay to disrespect your community. So if I come and I say, your mama's a bitch, your grandmama's a bitch, and your daughter's a bitch, and I got money, I got shmoney. Are you going to say, well, he did call my daughter, my beautiful daughter, a bitch, but he does have money, though? Huh? So what does this money even mean? And what is that money doing for the community? Not a darn thing. Let's see what the comments have to say, though. You said, sound like you saw a Jeffrey Mead video. Well, Jeffrey Mead, I don't know who this dude is. He's a suspected tether. All it is just a dude who loves being face deep in white cooch, and that's fine if you, hey, I'm not, I'm not the Punani police and I'm not the penis police. So love who you love, do who you do, be with who you want to be with, but don't sell out your community up the river, right? There's plenty of people that are in interracial relationships that are standing on lineage business. They're on code for their community. There's some people that are a black person with a black spouse and they be cooning and buffooning. And then there's some people that are black with a white or an Asian or a Latino spouse, and many of them are on code more than people that are in a black on black love relationship. So just because you're with another black person doesn't mean that you're going to be on code. And just because someone is black and they have a non-black significant other doesn't mean that they're going to be off code as well. So I know sometimes people say, hey, well, you can't be pro-black and date white and all this stuff. Well, you know, in an ideological sense, you could say that, but, you know, in a factual sense, is just not accurate. Yes, I did. And you said get a gym membership. Oh, he is a tether. I thought so. Bro did have that tether look. I just couldn't confirm. And you said just like how D'Amato was a good influence on Iron Mike Tyson, yet the moment he died, the vultures and sharks came in. Well, Mike Tyson, honestly, Mike Tyson has a lot of Sambo-esque in him. I seen him, you know, he was going on a tirade talking about how blacks are lazy and all this stuff. And then I also seen a video where Mike Tyson said that his kids don't like black people. And if that's the case, that's on you, Mike Tyson, is because you raised them in an environment where you weren't proud of being black. He was he had a very rough upbringing, right? But this is what sometimes people do. They try to project their upbringing on the entire community, right? They may have grown up with a broken home. Their daddy wasn't there. Their mama was a crackhead or a slut or something like that. So now they look at all women like that. It's like not all women are slutty like your mama. Not all men are a deadbeat like your dad. So then they start projecting, well, black men do this. You don't know all black men. So why are you trying to project and say, well, black people are lazy and all this other type of stuff? And then they'll try to prop up another group as if they work so much harder. And then you look, you're like, okay, cool. This group has a superior culture, allegedly, and they work so much hard. It's just you can't see any fruits of that labor of them working so hard in their homeland. Imagine this. You're from a homeland, you have superior culture, and you work hard. It's just you couldn't figure out how to work hard in your homeland. What is praiseworthy about that? Yeah, many people don't know. I may have to do a whole stream unpacking the Sambo nature of Mike Tyson. Yeah, he was on a video. I can't remember if he was with Joe Rogan or somebody else. He was saying like blacks are lazy, and then recently talked about how his kids don't like black people. If your kids don't like black people, it's because they were raised by a self-loathing father. But let's get back into it because I'm getting ready to shut her down. Now, the rehabilitation and reentry programs, gang exit programs. Some of these people are joining gangs because they feel they have no other option. Well, you know what? You don't have to join a gang. As a matter of fact, if you do join a gang, join my gang, because you can have a gang, because a gang really does mean 3 or more people that are gathered together, but the more deeper sense they tie it to criminality and all the stuff. But we can have a gang. Think about the movie The Warriors. Warriors come out and play. On Warriors, guess what all of those groups were on Warriors? All of them were gangs. Those gangs weren't about violence, though. And when there was an accusation of violence, all of the gangs had turned on the group that they believed to be responsible for the violence. So you can have a gang, a coterie, a conglomerate, and it doesn't have to be surrounded by violence. So yeah, some of these young gang members have no other place to turn to. Well, you know what? Since you're so fixated on joining a gang, come join my gang. My gang where we talk about financial literacy. My gang where we talk about enriching and enfranchising the community, where we talk about survival skills, when we talk about self-defense, tactical firearm training. That's what we do in my gang. We talk about legal avenues of revenue. We talk about legal avenues of income strings. That's what we do in my gang. But hey, we ain't for play. I don't play stations, nigga. I play bitches. We're not for play. This is what we do in my gang. We're not sliding on ops, but we making sure the ops don't slide on us. Because if you slide on us, it's going to be the last time you slide on anyone. That's what my gang is about. My gang isn't about talking about black on black crime. And if we do talk about it, we talk about how we've helped reduce black on black crime. We don't go around talking about, oh, look at the black woman. They're unruly and twerking in bonnets, nigga. I don't know no black woman around me that's twerking in bonnets and furry flip-flops. What type of black women do you have around you? You got these hood rat hoochie mamas. That's because you are what you attract. You hang with chickens, you gon' cluck. You hang with eagles, you gon' fly. Whoop, whoop, chicken head. Nigga, you're a chicken head too. That's why you're attracting chicken heads. You say all these chicks is hoes. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Okay, well, you must be a trick, because how would you even know all these bitches is hoes, right? Because a bunch of these respectable men, when they see hoes, they just look past them because they don't want a hoe. But you niggas are obsessed with hoes and tricks and OnlyFans chicks and all this stuff. How would you know that these chicks are engaged in these promiscuous proclivities unless you're watching all of their videos? You're in the corner circle jerking and whacking off the OnlyFans chicks and then whining. Why are these chicks selling cooch on OnlyFans? Because, nigga, you keep jacking off to them. That's why. And what alternatives do you have, right? Fine, you don't want these chicks on OnlyFans. Do you have any respectable, demure, virtuous women that will offer them wife training, marriage counseling? Have you set anything up like that? And if you haven't set it up, nigga, what are you talking about? What are you whining about? And you said chill. You know what? No chill, no filter. You said Tyson's mother was born in Charlottesville, Virginia, was described as a promiscuous woman who might have been a prostitute. His biological father was listed as Purcell Tyson, a humble who was from Jamaica. Yeah, well, that explains some of the coonery that is exhibited by Mike Tyson. So we also need to have education and training, correction facilities, promoting vocational skills, conflict resolution, training for incarcerated individuals. We need to be training these young brothers on how to have impulse control. Yeah, don't just want to fight somebody or pop somebody because they stepped on your shoes. You know what I mean? Don't just want to fight somebody because somebody said, man, fuck Logan Block. Man, I'm from Logan Block. How are they going to say fuck Logan Block? Man, this is my block. Like, no, it's not your block. You don't own any property on there. You literally have no authority on the block, and your only authority is to attempt to unalive someone else that looks like you. Nigga, that's not authority. That's incompetence. And again, there's nothing tough about that. There's nothing masculine about that. Matter of fact, that's some moist, goofy, maniac hoe shit. We gotta call it what it is. And most of you niggas are hoes. You're hoes with guns and rags. It just is what it is. We need to have restorative justice initiatives that encourages programs that allows offenders to understand the impact of their actions and repair the harm to the victims of the community. It's fine that you were a gang member and you were terrorizing the community. You helped destroy the community. Now you need to help rebuild the community. Don't just destroy the community. I learned my lesson. No, you didn't, nigga. If you learned your lesson, what have you done to clean up what you did? If someone comes and dirties up your dishes and tracks mud all over your carpet and say, you know what, my bad, I learned my lesson. Nigga, it's still mud on my carpet and it's still dirty dishes in the sink. You dirtied those dishes. I don't want to hear your apology. You can apologize by cleaning those dishes that you dirtied. You can apologize by helping me clean the carpet that you got mud entrenched in every fiber. That's how you help. Don't put your head in the sand. I feel bad. Well, if you feel bad, show me how bad you feel by cleaning up the filth that you created. You're not a baby, and we ain't going to treat you like one. Now, policy and structural approaches, collaboration across agencies, synchronized efforts between law enforcement, social services, schools, and community groups to create an integrated response. Data collection and research, continuously monitor trends, evaluate programs, and implement interventions with proven efficacy, whether it's drug intervention, whether it's sexual intervention to prevent teen pregnancies, whether it's intervention to prevent homelessness, right? You don't need a government official or the Most High to preordain this for you to start creating a solution. I mean, this is a very simplistic surface level blueprint that I'm addressing right now. And how many people are going to take anything that I'm saying, anything that's being reported, anything that's being promulgated, and create a solution out of it? I don't want to hear you whining about black on black crime if you've done nothing to address it. You hopping on a podcast whining is not addressing it. Now, addressing the root causes would lead to reducing systemic inequality, improve access to quality education, healthcare, and social mobility to mitigate the environmental drivers of crime. Now, remember, the number one predictor of crime is poverty. It's not skin tone, it's not religion, it's poverty. You know, they talk about what about fatherless homes? Well, apparently LeBron James was born in a fatherless home. He was born in a fatherless home in Akron, Ohio, the hood, where he was listening to gangster music. LeBron James grew up without his daddy listening to gangster music. He didn't turn to gangs, drugs, and violence. Instead, he became what some would call arguably the greatest basketball player who ever lived. There's a multitude of stories like that. Just people are not as prominent as LeBron James, but many people grew up in those conditions, in those elements, and they overcame the obstacles. This is something to be celebrated, not overlooked to wag the fingers at people who didn't make it out. We need to empower the community by encouraging local leaders, faith-based organizations, and civic groups to act as stakeholders in shaping strategy and sustaining long-term initiatives. Promote public awareness campaigns highlighting the legal consequences of gang involvement and the availability of support networks. Now, in summary, if we want to combat gang violence, it's most effective when focusing on prevention, intervention, enforcement, and rehabilitation simultaneously. The concept of walking and chewing gum. We're not only focused on prevention or only focused on enforcement. We're focused on all of it simultaneously. This is why they say it takes a village. And it takes a village of on-code, like-minded people who are willing to stand up for and on lineage business. I'm America first. I love my country, I love my countrymen, and I love my community. So these are the lengths I'm willing to go to ensure that my community is enfranchised. Now, evidence from cities implementing holistic strategies indicates that community engagement, economic development, and targeted law enforcement initiatives reinforced by support services for youth and ex-offenders result in sustained reductions in gang activity and crime rates. What about black on black crime? Yeah, what about it? And what are you doing to stop it? You whining over and over and over is doing nothing to fix, to mitigate the problem. Now I'm gonna drop the link. I won't be here too much longer, but if y'all want to come and chop it, the link has been dropped. That's exactly what it is, Roger. It's just another form. So I'm all for forming worker cooperatives. So I do appreciate y'all. So I'm going to play a quick visual. I'm going to see if somebody hits the link. And if not, I will be shutting it down. I'm actually got to shut it down pretty soon anyways, because I do got to head out. But if any of y'all want to give any perspective on what I've just laid out, then feel free to hit the link. And I'm going to hit y'all with a 45-second visual. So you got 45 seconds to hit the link.
Be easy, he is that dude. Ooh, he is that dude, be easy, he is the one that you can call so he can get the job done. He about to reign supreme if you thought his run would soon end. He just getting started though, so go ahead and tune in. Be easy, he is that dude. Ooh, 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 he is that dude.
Oh, snap. It looked like Big Rig had hit the link and then he dropped down. So I'm gonna wait for Big Rick to hit the link again. Otherwise, if not, then I will be getting ready to shut her down. But I do sincerely appreciate y'all rocking out with me. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. Y'all chose to be here with me, at least momentarily. And for that, I thank you. You said too tired, bruh. I'm 3 hours ahead of you. Like, Roger, you ain't tired, bruh. Roger, you're a vampire. Big Rig, is that you, bruh?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up
Yeah,
with you?
can you turn your mic up?
You can't hear me?
Man, you've been low for your last two streams, bro. I was yelling it to you. Like, your shit dumbass low.
Bro, I asked you and everybody else said they can hear me.
No, you can. I mean, we can hear you, bro, but you're low, bro. Like, if you go to a song or something that you play, it's louder than you, bro. I'm probably louder than you right now talking on the stream.
Oh, that's weird. Cause I asked you like a long time ago. Everybody else they said that they heard me. And
No,
y'all
you
niggas
can
be
hear you, but these last two streams
one
that
day
you did,
y'all want y'all, man, you too loud. Oh man, turn it down,
and
man.
that's
It's
the thing, bro, because
like, bro, y'all niggas be weird with that shit, bro.
because usually your shit be dumbass loud, bro. But today, like your first
But
stream
that's what you
earlier,
be saying. Some other cats, they
see
don't
you
be saying
loud
it be
now.
loud like that. Yeah, because I
So
just
did you
turned
just
it
turn it
up.
up?
Yeah, I had already turned it up earlier, but like other cats was saying, oh, they heard me. That's why I didn't turn it
Oh
up
no, you
any
can hear
higher.
you, but it's not like your usual. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah,
sounded
no,
like
I hear
something
you.
was different. But
Yeah, no, I hear you.
now talking to you, your shit, you blasting right now.
Yeah, because I turned it up to the max. Well, not all
No,
the way to
you
the max.
yeah, you probably don't gotta go to the max, bro. But yeah, you was
No,
just
I didn't go fully to the max.
you could hear you and you was good, but it's just like your normal streams, like your voice was way
Nigga,
more
I was
louder
going
than
for
what it
hella
was.
long. Y'all didn't say nothing. I asked, I was like, bro, before I proceed, could y'all hear me? And everybody was
I
like, oh
must
yeah,
have
I
dipped
can
when
hear
you
you.
had said that because when you had first started, I had left you like 3 or 4 loud. I was putting that shit in caps, bro. Just turn your mic up some, turn your mic. And then I told you in the live stream, but I should have told you when we was chopping game, you know what I'm saying, before you even went live this time. I should have told you, like, hey, bro, turn your mic up a little bit when you go live, you know what I'm saying, later on.
Yeah, you didn't
So I
say
don't
that, but shout out to dropping the T. Salute to y'all. But yeah, I mean, I'm up now, you know what I mean? I wish y'all would have said something, because now, hold on, give me 1 second. But no, go ahead. You can go ahead and speak on anything that you heard, Big Red, that you want to tap in about.
I mean everything was good. I just I kind of like some of the things with the points where kind of you had said, shit, I might even respect game a little bit more knowing you came from like maybe some gang banging or something. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, that'll kind of discourage them, right? When people kind of find out you may have a little funny background, but kind of like what you said, bro. There's a lot of people that kind of do be having, them type of lifestyles, but they're very respectful and honorable people, bro. I mean, it may sound kind of crazy, right? Because we're like a gangbanger, you know what I'm saying? Respectful, honorable. I mean, it sounds wild, bro, but it's true. And when you were saying that, you know what I'm saying, and how you had ran across, people that, come from different sides like that, I could relate, bro. And I don't know if a lot of people really feel that, you know what I'm saying? So when I just heard you say certain things like that, that's why I kind of put in the chat, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had homies, bro, that been gang banging and shit. And when we was younger and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? But they was very respectful, bro. Like they wasn't, disrespecting, you know what I'm saying, older people, you know what I'm saying? If your moms or something came through, you know what I'm saying, had groceries, they out
Also,
there
if you
bringing the
was a
groceries
nerd,
in.
they would want to keep you out the streets too. Like, come on, bro, you got your whole life ahead of you. Like, you feel me?
That's a fact, bro.
Yeah, even the concept of remember on what was that movie, the NWA movie when they had OG Two Tone, and he was like, man, He's like, I bet not ever see y'all throwing up no signs again. And he put the pistol to dude's head and was like, man, y'all better gang bang them books and stuff. Now, maybe it was done in a harsh and aggressive way, but still they were saying like, bruh, you feel me? I was
Sometimes
born
you
and
got to be
bred into
harsh and
this life.
aggressive, bro.
Yeah.
Depending on what kind of people you're dealing with and their backgrounds, you can't be all fluffy bunnies and pillows, bro. With you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers from that real turf. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to kind of meet them in the same. You know what I'm saying? Like with the
That's
same
what they
kind of
say.
energy, but
You
in
meet
a
people where
different
they
way.
were
But
at.
yeah, bro. Because other than that, it'll get respected too. It sounds crazy. I know these things. People probably hear this about like, what the hell? But it'll actually be more respected, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you coming like, you know what I'm saying, you from where they come from, you know what I'm saying? But you actually preaching something different.
That was
You may
truly
be
a
a little
form of tough
aggressive.
love, right?
Absolutely, bro. And that tough love be happening in the house too, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, tough love with your kids, you know, I mean, it happens, bro. It happens. I've seen it. I've been through
And the
it.
tough love
Not
is not
myself
always perfect
personally,
as
but I
well,
mean,
right?
what's that?
I'm saying like the way people implement the tough love is not always perfect, right? Sometimes, like you said, it may be harsh and it may be aggressive, but it did come from a place of love. And not everyone has,
Absolutely, bro.
people doesn't have a universal way of projecting their love. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause sometimes people grew up and they was like, man, my daddy never told me he loved me, but like based on their actions and behavior, their daddy did love them, but maybe their daddy never told them that. And maybe their daddy never told them they loved them because maybe their daddy never told them they love it. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of nuances that people want to understand, especially if you grew up with a silver spoon and your mommy and daddy was telling you every day how much I love you, little Johnny. I love you, little Bobby, right? Now, there's some people that grew up in the hood and their parents love them. It's just they expressed it in a different type of way. And some people can't understand that because they're like, no, your mom didn't love you. Otherwise, they wouldn't have treated you like that. But sometimes people are treating you based on the way that they were treated. And shout out to Lola, right? Because Lola told me, like, she said that her parents, when her parents got punished, she said her grandparents or something, they would make like her dad get in the tub when he was soaking wet, and then they would whoop his bare booty while his butt was still, you know what I mean? But like, they loved their kids, but however, when it came to discipline, it was very harsh. It was very aggressive. One could say very toxic, but that toxic behavior came from a place of love. It doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying a lot of people can't understand if they didn't grow up in these type of cultural environments where you can't expect. So no one expects a junkyard dog to have the same temperament as a Lassie dog or Beethoven or Air Bud, right? So why would you expect a kid that's growing up in the product of their environment where maybe one of their parents was a junkie or their dad was a gangbanger, or maybe they were just a low educated family or something like that? It's not going to be the same upbringing as someone with two parents and both of their kids have college degrees and they grew up in a gated neighborhood or something like that. It's just not the same. So just as well as a kid from the hood can't relate to a growing up with a silver spoon, the person with the silver spoon can't relate to growing up and being a latchkey kid or having to walk and dodge, crack vials, or you got to go a different way because a rival gang, you know what I mean? You can't understand that. So don't try to put yourself in that person's shoes that you can't understand. Don't wag your fingers because people wouldn't even survive. A lot of the stuff that I survived, people try to say like, damn, bro, how are you okay and all this stuff? People are not even okay with me telling the stuff that I endured. So if you're not okay with me telling you an anecdotal story, clearly you don't have the fortitude to have survived living that. What you think about that, Big Red?
No, that's a fact, bro. And the thing is, you know, people they all have different backgrounds. I was saying that in the chat, bro. Nobody really knows what people been through, a lot of trauma or whatever, bro. Like there's a lot of things that happen in homes, bro. That's wild that a lot of people would probably shrug. You feel me? And motherfuckers that went through it. And sorry for cussing, bro, but people that went through it. You know what I'm saying? And grew strong or whatnot. And then get around people nowadays and they don't even know, right? And they get to playing with you or what I'm saying, take you a certain way, not knowing how you built yourself up, you know what I'm saying, to the person you are today, you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you tell them some of the things you done been through, they they couldn't believe it. Like, how are you here today talking to me in this type of way? And you know what I'm saying? Positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're right, bro. All that's truth, man.
And the thing is like there's a generalization over like a universal gangbanger or a universal street nigga, but that doesn't exist, right? Like not all street niggas are created the same. Like a pimp is a street nigga just as well as a gangbanger is a street nigga, just as well as a booster is a street nigga, right? Somebody that goes around boosting, that's a street nigga, right? You're engaging in street criminal activities. It's just not created equal. No one looks as a dude that's boosting merchandise the same as a person that's dealing crack, but both of them are engaged in nefarious criminal activities. It's just different activities. So people try to pick and choose when they think like, oh, well, this person is not as bad because they were just stealing clothes. Well, they were engaged in criminality just as well as the person that was slanging, you know, weed or whatever substance that we're slanging, right? There's no like morally superior criminal. And then on top of that, people will be willing to call out the criminals for selling weed or doing gang banging. Fine, hold them accountable. But you can't tell me that someone that sold a little bit of weed to a willing person that want to buy the weed is worse than some of these white collar criminals that are, you know, screwing people over on the stock market for millions and stuff like that. You know, like the Wolf of Wall Street. These people screwed people out of millions to where people had to lose their entire home and stuff like that. No one was held accountable for that, right? Even the term white collar crime is still a crime.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, B. I mean, who's usually in that field line of work? You know what I'm saying?
Non-black people, predominantly white.
Bingo. And most people that are in, you know, street type of, you know, activities, you know what I'm saying? What are those people? What are they usually?
Predominantly non-white, predominantly black.
Absolutely. And that's what's wild, bro. So you talking about what happens in the street, right? And it's bad, right? It's all bad. But when you look at them white collar crimes, like you said, man, they be putting people through the ringer, bro. Destroying.
Way worse than any so-called street
absolutely
nigga. Because peep this, Big Rig. Many of the people that are locked up for non-violent drug offenses. So you can get mad and say they shouldn't have done the crime. Okay, they shouldn't have stole a bag of Cheetos. They shouldn't have stole some Nikes from Foot Locker, and they shouldn't have sold that weed. But what is really worse, right? Selling some weed to a person that wants to buy weed, or stealing some shoes, which they shouldn't have stole the shoes. But if you steal some shoes from Foot Locker is insured. So if you steal a pair of Jordans, all they do is write it off and then they get a tax write-off. So they're reimbursed for that. But then when you talk about the white collar crimes, these people that swindle and bamboozle millions of people, none of these people are held accountable.
Right. And the cold thing is, right before our time, what was it? Cats was making alcohol, right? And then they went ahead and started making alcohol and putting tax on it. Now you can buy it. Just like you're talking about the tree, you give it about a good 15 so years ago, you get caught with some tree as cookies for you. You getting locked up. It's over. Now they got it to where they got facilities. You know what I'm saying? They growing it.
All of those facilities, none of them are black. Right. So mind you, they've locked up a bunch of black people for selling weed because weed is bad. Man. And now they're selling weed and weed is good. Right. So they locked up dudes for selling an ounce of weed. Meanwhile, those dispensaries are selling metric tons of weed. It's literally the same.
Transporting, bro.
Transporting. Not only that, they have tinctures, they have edibles.
Absolutely.
And they're saying, oh, weed was bad in the 90s, but now it's legal, so weed is good. It's really the same drug, and if anything, it's stronger than it was then. Come on, bro. Cats was selling Bammer weed with sticks and seeds. Cats were selling 5 sacks. Now, come on, bro. How much is a gram? You
smoking a joint, that shit popping at you like somebody shooting.
Bro, you used to sell 5 sacks, which was like, how much was a 5 sack? A point 4, a 0.3? Now, cats you can buy grams for like $5, $7, depending on where you go. If you go to Oregon, sometimes you can get grams for $1.
Man, they throw that. Yeah, you're right, bro. I, I be trying to check the mouthpiece, bro, because I be so used to cussing. But nah, you're right, bro. You go to Oregon, man, they finna, boy. My folks stay out there in Oregon, man. Reading too. But hey, you know what?
Man,
We
I
ain't
went
on
to Oregon and had got a P. Yeah,
that. Go ahead.
yeah. So let me say this: I went to Oregon legally, and got a P for 250.
Off top, bro. Off
Because the
top.
thing is, all the people in Oregon, like, since everyone around them was growing, they didn't want weed. They wanted hard stuff. Mainly, they was
Off
doing the
top.
black. Yeah, so they wanted that H. But yeah, that it's like they didn't even care about weed. They would actually do some other stuff. I think they would.
Some of the biggest plants I ever seen was out there, bro.
Yeah, Oregon, they grow heavy in Oregon. But the thing is, like, a lot of people out there, they don't really care about it. They want like harder stuff, you know what I mean, based on my observation. And all those dispensaries, I mean, all of those farms, none of them were black, but they didn't see those people as criminals. So again, a black dude on the corner, oh, he's a criminal. He may have an eighth, but if he have an eighth bagged up, he's a criminal. This is intent to distribute, right? So he's bad, but the person on the farm growing tons of weed, they're not bad. And this is what you've been convinced to accept. And Roger was talking about the moonshine before the prohibition, the Sackler family. The Sackler family, they're known for the Oxycontin and the opioids. Remember when a bunch of dudes was addicted on crack, they were just saying, you guys are some criminals, and locked them up simply for being high on crack. Now when these people are high off fentanyl and these other opioids, they're calling it a opioid crisis, an epidemic, and we need to treat them like patients, right? But all these people are junkies. Why won't you lock them up? The crackheads was junkie. You locked them up. These opioid people are junkies, but instead they're giving them treatment, right? You see how it is? They want to rehabilitate them. They want to give them treatment. And the other black junkies, yeah, just lock those niggas up. Corporations and shareholders got their grubby hands on it. So Big Rig, let me ask you this, because I'm get ready to shut her down in a little bit, but I did want to ask you some stuff, right? So growing up, having a street background, how were you able to dodge being a gangbanger, or were you a gangbanger at some point in your life? And if you weren't, like, how were you able to resist the temptation of you joining a gang?
I've had partners that was from different sets. I never was one to be a part of like an organization, as in, a set. I kind of just did my own thing, you know what I mean? Like whatever it was, I was doing, I kind of did my own thing. So to me, I never really was the type to just be involved with a gang of people and kind of follow under a line of, what kind of people was doing. You know what I'm saying? I was always kind of like a solo individual, so that was kind of easy. And plus, like I said, I had partners that was in different sets. You know what I'm saying? So, that wouldn't really work. You feel me? Because sometimes things happen. You feel me? But that's how
Yeah, you would have been
that
a
was.
target, huh?
Well, it just got funny. I done got crossed up in a couple little things. Growing up, it was funny because me and my partner, we was just talking about this the other day, bro. You know what I'm saying? And how a little incident had happened, because I did have one of my partners with me, and things was kind of going on in the city, you feel me, and he was a part of an organization, and another cat that I was going to go check and see whatever was part of another organization, you feel me, but everything was Velveeta, you know what I mean, and then he he wanted to push an issue, you know what I mean, so then things happen, right, you know what I'm saying, so it's just I just wasn't, about all that. You know what I'm saying? And another thing too, right? Kind of going along with the same thing, because my partner I was talking to, he was a part of a little organization, right? And he was telling me, he was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when I was really, on with that shit, I never really, tripped on, just going at it with somebody because they was just from an opposite, hood or something, like, like if they didn't do nothing to me, like I didn't feel like I needed to, do anything to them. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody did something to me, I could see it. But like even when I was with my homies or whatnot, and they was doing their thing and like, yeah, man, we finna whoopty whoop. He was like, I always just was like, man, I mean, did they do something to you, or you just want to just do something just for the hell of it because they from whatever side? You know what I'm saying? And that hit me, bro. And that's one of the things, B, that's why I never joined a set, right? I never understood that anyways, right? And when he was telling me that, and he older than me, bro, he's my older partner. And when he was telling me this, bro, it was just sinking in like, damn, bro, I almost wanted to ask him like, damn, bro, then why was you even banging with them like that? Because usually that's what it kind of calls for, you know what I'm saying? But I like your way of thinking, bro. And I think it was more because of your area where you was at. That's what it was, you know what I'm saying? You was in the hood. So you banging the hood, but just under those certain guidelines of just tripping or whatnot. I was feeling him when he said that, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it made a lot of sense, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of, like what you were saying, be like a lot of people, they can be from different backgrounds, bro, in that gang banging type stuff, bro. But some of them people, like I said, bro, they do got morals. They are very good people, bro. It's just, sometimes it's your environment, bro. It's where you at. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is.
Yeah,
I probably took that somewhere that I need to take it, but I mean, go ahead though.
Nah, I mean, you taking it right where it need to be, right? Because you getting ready to take us home because I'm gonna shut this down pretty soon. But we can definitely come back tomorrow, and I did want to do, kind of another one of the grown man dialogue panels. But I just wanted to kind of at least touch on this, and this stream has went up. I didn't know it was going to be as active as it is, especially considering how late it is. So I do want to give a shout out to the people that's viewing this live concurrently and the people that will be watching this on the replay game. And this ain't the only stream. This ain't gonna be a one and done, because I do have to address a lot more of the imbecility and the obnoxious nature of many people that come from the streets, and I'm a nigga who comes from the streets. So what happens is they try to say, well, they don't want to listen to somebody, man, he a nerd, so you don't want to listen to him. Well, hey, nigga, I come from the streets too. So you don't want to listen to me, or you don't want to listen to nerds? No, you really just don't want accountability. You don't need to listen to me or anyone else. You need to just look at yourself in the mirror and evaluate and have some introspection. And then when I pulled up the video from South Central, right, Big Rig, and you seen Ray, the big dog of Hoover Deuce, right? I mean, is that someone that you would want mentoring your son and stuff like that? Is that someone that, okay, if you happen to get locked up, this is the person that I would know that my son was in safe hands with him. This was a person saying he was sending bro's son on plays. He was sending bro's son to go steal radios and potentially go catch a 187, right? Now, yeah, we grew up in this environment. Some of us grew up glorifying it. Some of us didn't glorify it. It just became a product of it. You know what I mean? Subconsciously, right? But as you get older, you should evolve into something and someone that's more mature, that's more morally and intellectually sound, right? So why would I want to gang bang a nigga like Ray going around trying to recruit the young cats in the hood to help to destroy the hood, and then he's gonna move out the hood and say, look at all this money I made? I mean, what is there to respect about that? Niggas like that are not anyone that's a friend of the community. That's a foe. There's nothing masculine about that as
well. They're a
well.
user, bro. They're a user. And a lot of people that end up doing the whole gang thing, bro, when they really like get the picture and it really hits them, they realize that. You know what I'm saying? They put in all this work, they put in all this time, and the time is actually behind the walls. You know what I'm saying? They ain't with their family. That's how you end up getting these Rays, because you get these cats that are putting so much into their gang that they end up doing stupid things, bro, and putting themselves, you know what I'm saying, in situations to where they doing damn near football numbers. So now they kid out there, you know what I'm saying, he ain't got a father, but you know what I'm saying, you got the homies, right? Because you always had your kids or your homies around, so all they know is the hood. So you got them around, and now they're the father figure now to your son, and they ain't gonna do nothing but preach the same little garbage that they was preaching to you that got you in the situation you in, because it's the ball's just gonna keep rolling, bro. That's how that happens, man. That's how you get them Rays, bro, because the partners, you know what I'm saying, was putting in the real work, and it's another thing that, because I know you're gonna close it down. But me and my partner, the same time we was talking about that, what I was just telling you about, we was talking about how the dynamics of the gang is, bro. Like everybody ain't the same in the gang. You got the cats that get the money. You know what I'm saying? You got the cats that, you know what I'm saying, may do things with some girls. You got the cats that, you know what I'm saying, are just out there just being a donkey, putting in work. Nobody is really doing the same thing. You're not gonna just have a gang, everybody getting money. You know what I'm saying? It never really just works that way. You got all kind of different people, right? So they all play a whole different part in the gang, bro. And some people, they are hitters, right? And what happens? Them hitters end up getting caught up. They putting it on for their gang. They keeping their mouth shut. Everything you're supposed to do, right? But now you're doing all this time, bro, and you had kids out there, bro. And that time that you're doing because you kept your mouth shut or whatever, however you want to spin it, them people is out there now. They raising your kid, bro, and they just putting it on hella thick, bro. And now they pretty much gonna make another you know what I'm saying, out of your kid, bro, and have him doing the same old dog ass shit.
And this was the perfect segue. So after this, we're going to give the final commentary and shut it down. So like you said, different gang members have different roles. This brother over here is an enforcer. That's why he's not saying anything, because his job is not to talk. His job is to enforce. That's what he's there for. Yeah. You saw he had no rebuttal to that. He said, I spent 10 years of my life putting in work for the set.
Yep.
Crickets. Ray Ray wasn't in there for 10 years. While he was in there for 10 years, Ray Ray was over there trying to raise his kid, but he wasn't raising his kid to be on the straight and narrow.
And bang his girl.
And
remember, he got her all strung out and everything.
Yeah, he got her strung out. Then on top of that, we're showing his son. His son got shot in the back with a shotgun.
Yep.
For stealing radios for Ray Ray.
Yep.
And then he said, hey, man, the Deuce is your daddy, right? The gang is your daddy. And he said, nah, I'm still his daddy. You feel me? So, this is the segue to just essentially what you were saying, bro. Who put in more work than OG Bobby Johnson? OG Bobby Johnson did 10 years. And he ain't even
respected. He's not even respected. He comes out and they ain't even respected him for that, bro. They don't care. They're users, bro. It is
so
what it is.
Why would I want
to
sign up for that?
Exactly, B. Exactly.
And Roger says, isn't Ray Ray endangering the life of a minor? This is what I'm trying to say. So imagine that this was your son. You know what I mean? He wouldn't care that it's your son. All he cares about is using your son as a means to an end.
Absolutely.
Using your son as a crash out. And then if his son gets, unalived, all they gonna say is, hey, pour out a little bit of liquor for my YN. That's not gonna bring him back.
Absolutely.
So Big Rig, I'm gonna get ready to shut her down. So go ahead and give some final statements on anything that you've witnessed or heard tonight. And remember, we gonna do another one and kind of expound on this topic, but I just want to kind of shake the table a little bit. So go ahead and take us home, Big Rig.
Yeah, man, I just appreciate you letting me up, bro. Good live, man. A lot of these things needed to be said, bro. I hope the replay, is really good on this, because there's just a lot of good things said, bro. And
to keep it a buck, it probably won't. When you talk about these topics, if I'm not talking about black on black crime and calling black women bitches and shit, it probably won't go up. But the thing is, we're not doing it for that. But go ahead, my bad. Bro.
Right. But it just, it was good, bro. I like real content, bro. And usually, what I'm saying, that's what you're gonna get up over here, period. So, but with the gangbanging thing, it kind of hit home, because what I'm saying, I got folks and all kind of things, bro, that come from that. You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, I was never in a clique, what I'm saying? Be like, oh, I'm from this hood, or no. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, to each their own, man. You know what I'm saying? And hey, I just appreciate you, bro. Good live, man. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the chat, man. We appreciate y'all.
Hey, I appreciate you. And shout out Sincere. She says, good night and great live. I didn't even know she was still here.
Oh, so shit. What the hell?
Yeah, that's why I was like, what the hell? S Triple was in the building. And Big Rig, before you drop down, let the people know where they can find your content when you're going live. Let them know about the new season 3 with HT. Whatever you want to let people know where they can find and get a dose of
Yeah,
PRS.
I kind of been just taking a little break myself, kind of just doing the content because John been he's doing his thing, so I'm really trying to just rock out with John. But me myself, man, Sundays like this Sunday I'll be going live, man. With HT, man, we from the block to the hood table. We gonna have that good content, and then next Sunday we'll be over there. So basically when it comes to me right now, man, y'all can catch me on a Sunday, man. You know what I'm saying? I might do something next week. I ain't sure, but definitely this Sunday, man, it's going down. So I appreciate you, bro.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate you, bro. We locked in and I'm going to come back. I don't know what time, but I'm going to come back tomorrow and hit y'all. I'm going to definitely be, consistently hitting y'all with these bangers. And it's not just going to be the average, run of the mill, have a panel and yell at each other, talk about black women in bonnets and y'all
Absolutely
bitches
not.
wearing furry slippers and all this stuff.
Yeah, man.
This
He
ain't
ain't on that, bro.
yeah. It's most of my support is from women. I got a lot of love from people of various backgrounds. Shout out to my bro Roger. Shout out to the Exquisite Tory Experience. Shout out, I got an anonymous supporter named Shabazz. I really want to give him a shout out. I don't know who the heck this person is. They hit me on the Cash App probably like several times, and
That's
some of the
what's up,
times
bro.
they came heavy. I don't know
That's
who this
what's up,
person
bro.
is. They've never even shown themselves. They never even said in the chat like I'm
And they
Shabazz,
won't.
but then
They won't.
and I just respect that so much because I'm not even doing this to get rich. I'm not even
Right.
monetized right now. So like all of
You
the
need
stuff
to
that I
do
do
that
is,
though, bro. Come on, man. Get that going, man.
well, you know what? What I mean? Like I said, I'm not just doing this for monetization. Eventually I will be, you know what I mean? And I was, but you know what I mean? They kind of like, my channel was shadow banned. So like I said, I kind of gotta, the way I pop it, you know what I mean? Like, because I see a lot of the channels, right? All of that debaucherous stuff, their channels never get flagged. They can talk about black people, they could fight, they could threaten people to unalive people, and their channel never gets struck. I'll talk about some real stuff, and then suddenly, like, my channel is shadow banned. But I
Oh,
mean, it
you
kind of
seen some
is what
funny
it is.
shit happen?
Is YouTube. When have you not seen funny stuff happen?
Oh, wow, man. I didn't know that, dog.
I mean, but it just kind of is what it is, bro. Like, I'm still going to keep pushing. So I don't, need to fixate on the funny stuff that's happening. I just
Right.
overcome the funny stuff. And not only that, see, for me, I never got those AdSense checks. I never got a YouTube check. So for me, like, I'm not really losing anything. Now, if
Right,
I
for
was one
sure.
of those people that was gaining a bunch of checks and I wasn't getting them, that would be
Right.
a big deal. But
Right.
before, I don't make my bread and butter on YouTube. So I really
Right.
come as a man of the people to interact and engage with the people. Of course, I like shmoney just like anybody else, but that's not what
Right.
I'm here for. You feel me?
Right.
If I throw a cookout and invite all y'all people, it's not for clout and to,
Right.
pop it for the gram. It's because I
Just to
really
have a
want to
good time
mingle
and,
and
and,
be
and fuck
around.
with my people. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So truly enjoy conversing and engaging with people who have real intellect and want to hear real discussions. You know what I mean? So, that in itself, is priceless. You can't really put a price tag on it.
You
You know what I
can't.
mean? But,
You can't.
you can always hit your boy on the Cash App. And for the people that are unable and unwilling to support, it won't cost you a fee. Like, sharing, commenting, tell a friend to tell a friend. It's all free. So,
Facts.
and shout out to Roger. Roger had to send me a Cash
I
App because bro
know.
was still a little. Roger is mad because I put sugar on grits. So I
Me
love
too.
Roger. I love Peach, but y'all is wilding for the
They big wildin',
sugar.
bro. But we got,
They,
an East Coast and a Southern, you know what I'm saying? Playalistic,
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I don't know, man. I ain't never ate no shrimp and grits and everything. When you talking about the hot link and stuff, like I know all about that. And
Oh,
because
I
I
was
done
gonna
had a
say,
hot
bro,
link
don't
with
tell me.
breakfast, you feel me, and
I was gonna
eggs
say,
and a
don't
little
tell me you
juice and
don't know
everything.
about the hot
Oh,
link and the
come on, bro.
grits.
And sausage, all that. Even my
All
bacon,
that.
sometimes I put my bacon in my grit, bro. Come on, bro. Don't
Yeah.
play with
Hey,
me.
I did that. Like, if you cut up like make a little grits ball with a little bit of
Man,
bacon and egg, bro, I'm telling you, wake your life up.
come on, bro. Come on, bro. And I didn't start putting salt in my grits until my stepmom, bro. She used to make like, damn, man, these grits is hella good. And I watched her do it, and she put a little salt, and I was like, "What, man? That shit changed the whole game, bro."
And some people put cheese in there. Oh, and
I
shout
can't
out
do
to
that.
Sincere. So I got not only the sophisticated and sensational, but the sweet tooth Sincere Saida. I put sugar on grits. I don't always put it
Okay,
on
man.
there,
You know what I'm saying?
but
Because S3, I swear to God, if you was gonna say something, man, I was gonna be like, S3, man, I'm done,
but
bro.
I'm trying to
Don't
shut it
follow suit
down.
with these.
But I gotta give a shout out to the illustrious sunlight from the sunshine state, shining
Look,
brighter than a diamond. And she said, "There's no
no
shrimp and grits."
shrimp.
What? No, it's not that I'm against shrimp
I
and
never
grits. It's
had it.
just I never had it. And
Yeah.
she said, "What? What?"
Yeah, dog. That's what they
Hey,
be saying, bro.
they and shout out to
And I can't
Sunlight because
see it, to
her.
be honest with you. Just I can't see the flavors, but I'm used to the sugar, butter, and salt in my grits, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
because
eat it like
shout
a
out to
hot
my boy.
cereal.
Yeah, my boy Braxton, he from New Orleans. He said he don't eat grits unless it got shrimp on it. And
That's a
Sunlight, see, they all from down south, so
right.
they like nigga, what? You haven't had shrimp and
Yeah.
grits? So Big Rig, we may have to take a trip down south. She said, y'all not from the south.
Something, bro. But I'm to be honest with you, I mean, I probably would try it, but I don't really want to try it. It don't seem like it would go to me, bro. But they probably
And
that's what they
Sunlight
say about
said
us when we
sugar.
put sugar in it. You feel me?
Yeah,
They're
no,
like that shit don't go.
cause Sunlight saying the same thing that Roger says, that sugar is for cream
It's
of
for
wheat
cream of wheat
only.
only. Okay, so
Roger,
sunlight. I brought up
Roger, you did say
Moto
that.
I like Moto Mill too. Do you know anything about Moto Mill? Because Peach never heard of Moto Mill. B,
She
have you
said,
heard of
what
Moto Mill?
You said what about know about eggs and rice? I usually don't eat eggs and rice unless it's
I
like
eat eggs and
a
rice.
chicken fried rice. But I went to a place in Alameda. It's called the Monkey King. I was like, what? Have you heard of that place before?
I have.
Bro, I went and my boy, shout out to my boy Jarvis. If you in here, S. Venom, right? I did a photo and a video shoot for him. And he was like, bro, thank you for the work you done. I want to treat you to Monkey King. And I was like, Monkey King? Like, what the heck is that? Seen a movie called Monkey King. And if you haven't seen that movie, it's actually pretty dope.
Cold flick.
That Monkey King movie is raw. But he was like,
Yeah, it's
nah, it's a
cold flick.
restaurant. So we went and he got me these chicken wings. They were like ginger, like onion scallions. Like the wings was fire, and he gave me some crab fried rice. Now I've had shrimp fried rice and chicken fried rice. This
That
was my
sounds
first
good.
time having, bruh. It was bomb.
That
I ain't even
sounds
gonna
good.
lie, bro. It
I don't know how the chunks of crab was in there, but that does sound good, man. I ain't even gonna lie. That sounds pretty good. Damn, did they kick you, B? I don't hear you, bro. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all? Shit. Cream of wheat, multi-meal, and oatmeal is good. Yeah, I used to love eating on multi-meal. Like when we had it, it wasn't like always there, but oatmeal was always there. I love oatmeal, cream of wheat, but grits too, though. But now grits, man, like the boxes then got smaller, y'all. Like I'm used to Albert's grits. I don't know what y'all be having, but the Albert's box have gotten hella small. It's crazy. I haven't had no grits in a while, though, man. I'd actually like to make some grits. Yeah, I don't know what the hell a shrimp roll is. What is that? Kind of like an egg roll or something? Egg rolls are hella good too, though. Man. That's crazy. I ain't had no egg rolls in a minute. I might have to F around and get some Chinese food or something maybe this weekend, y'all. I ain't had none of that in a long ass time because, your boy be kind of doing this little cooking thing, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of got my own same little menus all the time, you know what I mean? But hey, it's been working out though, y'all. Your boy done dropped a couple of pounds too, man. I ain't even mad though, you know what I'm talking about? F that fast food and all that shit, boy. That is not good for you. B, what is going on, bro? Damn, I'm up here by myself. I'm just looking at the chat. Damn, B, they done dropped you, bro. He's back.
okay.
StreamYard has been crazy.
Join in from my phone because my
Oh,
my router was kind of janky. Yeah,
you
well,
you on a Wi-Fi on your laptop when you do it?
yeah, I was on the Wi-Fi. Sometimes like my Wi-Fi, like sometimes it will do like a random startup, so I just hopped on my phone. But
Look
I,
at Sunlight. Oh, you right though, Sunlight. She said no Chinese food unless it's from a black person. We divorce Asian business. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, B.
Hey, Sunlight is right, but hey, I will say this. I know that there's that boycott going on. I didn't pay for it. My boy treated me to it, so I couldn't be like, hey, don't give me that product.
That's right.
But I will say that this business, I don't know if it was. I don't think it's black owned, but they do have so basically the Monkey King, they got like a black version and then like a white version. So they got like a black version where you go in and they playing hip hop and all sorts of jazzy music like that. And then they got a white version where they play like that alternative and punk and rock and stuff like that. So they do have like two locations of the restaurant on the same street. And basically, they pander towards different audiences based on the cultural vibe and stuff. But yes, salute to Sunlight for holding us accountable.
But what I was gonna say real quick is about your router. B, is your router in the same room as where your laptop is,
Say
or is
that
it
one more
like
time.
is your router in the same room as your laptop?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, because what I do on mine is I'll run it Wi-Fi, but I also run a hard line too.
Yeah, that's the
So
thing.
just
I
in
mean,
case
I
my
really
Wi-Fi acts
want to run
goofy,
the hard
it
line.
can go off the hard line.
Yeah. Once I get my other setup, eventually I will do the hard line. It's just where my router is now. I'll have to run one of those long
Yeah,
cords and all
yeah.
this
That's
stuff.
all I was asking, bro. Hell yeah.
And that's what I've been trying to avoid. But pretty soon, my setup will be A1, but at least I was able to get that stream out and I could always hop on any of my other devices, whether it be my phone or iPad or something like that. But at
Do
least
you
set up.
do you do
What was that?
Xfinity?
Xfinity, yeah. I mean, is there something better than that?
Do you do the Comcast like crazy Xfinity, or do you do the little white box Xfinity?
Um, I have to check what it is.
Because there's like the little white box one, and you can get it for like $60 or so a month. It's good, bro. I've been running that, and I ain't really had no issues or problems with it, bro. And what's cool about it too is like you can take that thing with you. Like say if you was in an RV or something, you know what I'm saying? You can plug it up, and it's gonna give you Wi-Fi because it's gonna just bounce off the signals. You know what I'm saying? But
Okay,
the
so
white box,
is it like an extender or a range booster
nah,
or
it's
what
not,
is
bro.
it?
It's the regular like because I have T-Mobile too, so like they sell it like you know what I'm saying, and it's like an Xfinity type style. You know what I'm saying? Because I got an Xfinity one, but the T-Mobile one is the same because my son had the T-Mobile one, and it's just like it's a little white looking type thing, bro. And it does the thing, bro. It gives you really good Wi-Fi, bro. It's hella strong. I be running tests on mine and everything, like through my phone and everything. I run the little speed test
And
on it,
it's
and it's
through
cool.
T-Mobile that you're using it?
Mine's through Xfinity, but my son's is through the T-Mobile, and it's dope, bro. Same thing. It's the same everything. It's just T-Mobile has theirs and Xfinity has theirs. You know, and the T-Mobile one is like 50, $60, and I think the Xfinity does it too for the 50 or $60. But it's not that big Xfinity one. It's the white one. You know what I'm saying? Because Xfinity they can get you, bro. That's why I was asking. Damn near 150 or so, bro, for their Wi-Fi packages, bro. Like it's crazy. But these little new white boxes that they came out with, bro, they're dope, bro. And like I run a hard line to mine, and I use the Wi-Fi, and then I'm running like about like 8 or 9 devices off of my shit, bro. So yeah, it rocks.
Got you. And shout out to Sincere, because I do agree. Like, if you want some Chinese food or any other food, you can make it at home, right? You love tacos, make those tacos at home. All of
Hey,
these
I
other
showed you my
recipes.
fried rice on the thing the other day. I put a picture up in there. You know what I'm saying?
That was Chef Boyard Rig.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I took a gamble, used some of that. What is it? A oyster sauce, soy sauce, and what was the other one? It was kind of thicker, bro. But yeah, I use like 3 little sauces, bro. All you know what I'm saying? Some YouTube stuff, bro. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's what it is. Yeah, so I do support that, and I appreciate Sunlight and Sincere for keeping us accountable. She said they divorced the businesses, and I would say forget the boycott. I say it's, you need to be banning these businesses, not because they're Asian, Latino, or African. Just you got to practice group economics and you have to support who supports you. So if none of these other groups, institutions, or entities are supporting you, then you got to reserve your dollars, right? You got to build up, some economic im- infrastructure, and you can't do that
Yeah,
by doling out your money to every other group.
and they feeling it too. They feeling it.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of crying and stuff. And now it's being framed as if you don't spend your money with other groups, they're framing it as, well, you hate Asians and all this stuff. When they don't spend money with you, they don't say that they hate blacks. If you don't spend money with
Man,
them, then it's framed
bingo.
as you hate Asians. If I say, hey, salute to the Mexicans, I hope y'all have a successful taqueria. It's just I can't buy from you. I need to support my black people, and we need to make our own tacos. And then it turns out that, well, you hate immigrants, you hate Latinos. I hate Latinos because I want to make my own tacos. Like it doesn't make any sense. Or rather than getting your nails done at an Asian shop, you use press-ons or you go strictly to a black nail technician. That's framed as you hating Asians. So it's like the gaslighting at some point it has to stop. But you know
And
what I
them
mean.
press-ons done stepped up their game too, ladies. I didn't seen somebody rock some press-ons, and I was like, oh, okay. There's like, man, this is some press-ons. I was like, what?
Hey, I like press-ons. I've seen some press-ons that you can't even really tell.
Right. You
Men,
know what I'm saying? I'm like,
they wear
man, women,
press-ons.
they need to bring the press-ons back because I remember that was a big thing back in the days, bro, like the '80s and all that. Man, them
Yeah, I would
press-on
support
nails was the
that.
lick.
Yeah, I will support that because it will save you money. And not only that,
Stupid
there's
money.
never been no dude who was about to lay a chick down and then give her a massage and caress her skin. And then you pull the panties down and you about to slide in the vagina. And then you say, oh, but damn, bitch, you don't got your nails done. Like, that's never happened. So again, when you're doing all these nails and all these elaborate designs, it's not for no man. It's not
Yeah, who are
for
you
your
really doing it
significant
for?
other because he accepts you as you are. If you just cut your nails, clean them, and put some clear coat on it,
With the white
men
tips,
will
I'ma
love
love it.
you like that.
But you know what's crazy though, bro? And I don't mean to keep you because I know you're trying to drop it down. You know what I'm talking about? But the thing is I think the women, bro, when they be doing certain things like them crazy ass nails and all that, like you said, bro, we ain't tripping on none of that. You know what I'm saying? I think they do it as a flex to the other woman, bro, that they may encounter out there in the streets or the market or the wherever gathering they may be. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, women they gonna see the nails and be like, oh. I think it's more of a flex in that type of way, right? Just like maybe how dudes or something with their cars or rims or whatever. And then this other cat, you know, he may have like the same type of car, but he ain't got the 4Gs or nothing. So, you know what I'm saying? When you pull up, you flexing. So it's sort of like the women, bro. They get them crazy nails or whatnot that be costing them like 100 or whatever. When you could have really just got you some, $20 press-ons or whatnot, but it's a flex, bro. Because if you're doing it for the man, we ain't tripping on that, bro. To keep it 100, you right, bro. And that goes the same with them BBLs and all that, how they be speaking on that. But we ain't gonna get into all that because I know you're trying to shut it down. But that
Yeah,
man,
we're
I
gonna have
don't
to
know
do a
what.
whole stream about that as
Yeah,
well.
I don't know what that be all about, bro. But again, man, I appreciate you, man. You can go ahead and drop me because I don't want to say something else. We get to talking or something, man. But I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to join back from my computer just so I could drop you. Just give
For
me one
sure.
second. Hold on.
So yeah, y'all, we appreciate y'all sliding through, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit, he did a double hitter, man. He kept his word, y'all. I can't be mad at him. Sunlight said, I second that. People flex for their peers, not their significant others. I agree, Sunlight. I agree. Natural nails are the best. I agree with that too, Sunlight. Like when you see a woman and
Yeah,
she got some
back.
natural, some natural healthy nails, and you see them, man, that shit's dope, man.
But
And I'll say something too,
natural
like, damn,
healthy
is those
stuff,
your real nails?
period, right? Like this is just me personally. It's not to shame or disparage anyone. If you have a BBL, there's some people with BBLs that look extremely alluring and they have a BBL, but at one point, and I'm not trying to discourage anyone from any of these cosmetic alterations that they get, but at one point do we have to acknowledge, because people love to talk about the beauty of God's creation, right? At what point do we put a premium on the value of God's creation, right? Because if that's the case, where do we So if I worked in the gym to get a six pack and some dude got a male BBL and he has a six pack, are those six packs created equal?
No.
If a chick went in the gym and she got her big voluptuous booty based on doing squats and some chick just took some fat from her stomach and thighs and made a BBL, is that the same as a chick that is squatting hundreds of pounds to get that booty? If someone has
Man, that,
naturally full lips and someone gets a bunch of Botox fillers to make their
bro.
lips all plump and they have a
And then they
permanent
start looking
lip,
hella wild, bro. Because once you start doing that Botox thing like that, then you start moving to your cheeks and all kind of stuff. And now your face is hella big, bro. Look at Smokey Robinson right now, bro. Smokey Robinson right now, it's a scary look. He look 3D, bro, because his face is all just it's big. Everything is just big.
yeah, it's because age is a privilege denied to most. And many people, unfortunately, once they get, they start to age, they think that, hey, I have to do something to better myself. And in many instances, it kind of lessens and worsens the beauty that they already had. Like when Little Kim came up, I mean, all the brothers I knew, they was jocking Little Kim. They thought Little Kim looked
I
extremely
thought she looked really good,
sexy.
bro.
I mean, I had that
She
poster
was
when she
cute.
was
She was
spreading
hella
eagle,
cute. Yep.
and now I'm just saying, like
No,
Little
she's a
Kim,
mess.
I'll
And
pass
some
on.
like Janet Jackson to me, I always thought Janet Jackson was like a very attractive woman, bro.
She
I
still
always
is.
liked her smile. No, but I'm just saying though, like, because she said, a celebrity black woman who always wore
Oh,
the
with
natural
sunlight
nails.
skin, that she only wore her like wore her natural nails, right?
Yeah, but Janet Jackson though, she always like I loved her smiling. I always thought Janet Jackson was a hell of a good looking woman, bro. For real, for real. I actually kind of tripped because I don't think she got like the praises like a lot of these other women. Like a lot of people be on the Holly Berries and all. You know what I'm saying? These other kind of, you know what I'm saying? But I think Janet though was really and from body and everything, curves, everything. Janet is fine, bro.
She had body. She remember she can dance. Miss Jackson
Yep,
at your Majesty, Ribs
all of that, bro.
Reservation. She can dance. She can sing. She was attractive. So yeah, I mean, she is a legendary figure in American culture and foundational Black American culture. But I do concur with what you're saying. I don't think she never got the proper reverence and the proper respect for the level of beauty and grace that she
I
did
don't think she
deliver.
did, bro. Alexander said he met her in real life. That's dope, man.
Oh wow, that's
I'm pretty
amazing.
sure she was a cool person in real life too, bro. I don't really see her as being like when I see her like with interviews, she always seemed really like nice and calm and sweet, bro. It could be an act, but I'm just saying. I don't. Alexander said he met her.
It
I'm sure
could
she
be an
was the
act.
same
I
way.
just don't think that it is because by now you would have heard all this like messy
That's a
type of
fact.
stuff. And I also want to give the benefit of the doubt, right? If someone has a track record of Big Rig has been a stand-up guy, I'm not going to interject. Well, Big
That's a
Rig
fact.
might be a snake. It's like, yeah,
That's
but
a
you
fact.
you have no proof of him being a snake, right? I
You're
have
right.
no proof of Janet Jackson being anything other than a respectful and a virtuous woman.
Absolutely.
There's no
Absolutely.
I haven't heard no scandals of her being like, some promiscuous industry thought. Now, maybe she's done some things behind the scenes, but why would I try to project and put that on
Right.
her if I have
Right.
no actual account of that ever
Nigga,
happening?
we ain't no sector shit, nigga. Nah. But look, hey, Sunlight. Remember Penny and the Iron? What show was that? Sunlight. Nobody don't say nothing. Penny and the Iron. Go ahead, B.
Damn, I didn't even give her the appropriate reverence for her acting as well. And I ain't gonna
Right.
lie. I mean, I still love Poetic
There you
Justice.
go,
Poetic
Sunlight.
Justice was a dang good movie,
That's a
bruh.
good movie, bro. Poetic Justice is actually a pretty damn good movie, bro.
It actually really
I ain't even
good.
go front.
Poetic Justice. It had Joe Torre, Regina King,
Yep.
Tupac. Remember they went to Oakland and then
Yeah, and she had an attitude like a mug, bro.
yeah. Remember they went to that cookout and he was like cutting Pete. You feel me?
Yep.
But poetic justice is a quintessential foundational Black American culture. It shows the style, that shows our loving nature as well. Just the concept of them pulling up to a random barbecue and they was like, "Here, come get a plate." You
Right.
cousin, you know what I mean? All sorts of stuff like that. Not only that, uh, um, when they say, "Oh, black men are lazy" and all this stuff, well, how could Tupac have been lazy? He was working for the milk company, right? So it was men working, it was women working in, it was black love. It showed, I think Tupac, his baby mama, was like a crackhead and stuff. So it showed the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, uh, dealing with urban life and stuff like that. So I actually thought that was a underrated movie.
Facts. Definitely was a good movie, man.
Peach says Penny and the Iron. What you know about it?
Peach, I just brought it up. That's why she's saying it. Sunlight already dropped it in the chat, and Sincere. Hey, what movie was? Hey, what movie was? So you doing the bending? Married to Ghost from Power, who was on the all and gave her AIDS.
That I
Gave
don't
her
know. Y'all have to fill
AIDS
me in.
and gave her. Hold on. What movie was so you doing the bending? Married to Ghost. I was gonna. From Power, who was on the DL and gave her AIDS. Fuck. Oh man. She said for colored girls.
I didn't get to see that one.
Yep, and I didn't
Dang,
either. Because I
Sunlight
was
and
thinking
Peach
though,
seen that.
I was thinking about that ghost scene on
Actually,
something
it's
like
funny
that.
because I bought that movie from shout out to my bro Kev, right? For his marriage, I bought that movie for his wife. I bought like because his wife loves like these types of movies and books. I bought some books, and one of those movies were for color girls. I just didn't think about it until now. I bought like a litany of movies,
I've
and
heard of it, but never
I had
seen it.
never seen that movie. I had totally forgot about that movie.
Well,
So I
somebody done
bought it
put
as
it
a
in
gift, and
our
I never
heads
seen it
tonight.
though. But yeah, man. So this one has been a fruitful stream. I'm gonna get ready to just shut it down right now. I was gonna run a series of visuals, but I don't want to risk it on my Wi-Fi. You feel me? I don't want my Wi-Fi to like cut off in the middle
Be
of my
easy, be
visuals.
easy, be easy, that dude. Be easy. You know, I just did it for you, bro.
I wish your voice was as good when you did the Riggy Houston. Not quite the note, but
Hey,
you
come
feel
on,
me?
dog. Come on,
A
man.
effort.
Hey, that's behind. Hey, come on, dog. We don't bring that out, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He said that movie was really good. She said it's a deep movie. You got to really have the mental health in check before watching that movie, in my opinion.
Really?
Wow, is it really that deep?
Damn, I'm gonna have to check it
Okay.
out.
So Sunlight came in late, so she gonna watch the playback. Well, yeah, it looks like it's at least 2 hours plus of the playback. And shout out
Shit,
to
you
the
3
Florida
hours, bro.
fam. I got multiple members of the Florida fam. I got Sunlight from the Sunshine State, but also got Peach from the Sunshine State. I got the
And you guys got
sophisticated
free
sincere.
iguanas running around out there. That's crazy.
They have a iguana epidemic. I seen it was a bistro
That's
and literally
crazy,
was like
dog.
no less than like 1,000 plus iguanas. And some people they would like have these dogs. They would have like pit bulls and they would unleash dogs to go like catch iguanas and stuff. I wonder
That's
do people
crazy,
ever like
dog.
say, here, let me catch an iguana for a pet. Now I know people have iguanas for a pet, but I wonder if they catch some of these stray iguanas and stuff and
Right,
them
bro.
come
They got
back.
free iguanas running around out there, dog.
That's
Like that's
crazy
crazy.
because an iguana is kind of expensive out here. But
Yes, they
if you
are.
you could just matter of fact, I might have to get some iguanas and come out and sell them out here. I'll make me a cool at
I'm
least a
just
few
saying,
bands.
I don't know how nobody ain't never just caught some iguanas out there, you know what I'm saying, and brought them out. It was like, bro, I got some iguanas on the block right now. That's crazy work. B, drop me, bro, or else I'm gonna keep talking. Damn, B ain't talking no more. So yeah, I think his Wi-Fi is acting up. I see my bubble moving, so I know y'all can see me, but I don't want it to be silent around this thing. Yet those things are everywhere. That's crazy how y'all could deal with that, man. And you guys have fucking alligators and shit out there. That is crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't deal with a mouse, a rat, a freaking spider, and you mean to tell me a big ass iguana or a alligator, bro? Like, come on, bro. I don't know how y'all do it, bro. I
So
really don't.
when I come to Florida, I want some grits. I want some shrimp and grits. And then I want y'all to take me to where the iguanas is, because I'm taking about 2, 3, or maybe
Keith
4,
said they
or
fall from
11 of them
trees when
with
it's
me.
cold.
Oh, damn. Okay. Armadillos. Damn, they got iguanas,
They got
armadillos,
it all,
crocodiles.
bro.
They got it
It's a
all.
zoo out there, dog.
Lions, tigers, bears. Oh, my.
Oh my.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to get up out of here, bro. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all sincerely. In sunlight, hopefully you enjoy watching this on the replay, but don't worry, I'm going to come back tomorrow and hit
Yeah,
y'all with another banger. All right,
that's it.
I'm out.
Drop me, bro.